No Jumper, coolest podcast in the world. And today I bring you a long-awaited conversation. I feel like this probably should have happened a long time ago, but apparently somebody wanted to wait until they were on a little bit of a PR campaign.
Actually, I'm not even in the PR campaign.
You're doing image recovery.
This is recovery. I'm in recovery.
You're like, I'm going to change this narrative. I'm going to get them talking about things I want them talking about.
Yeah, let's give it to 100 subscribers.
You said the Foo pages. We're going to mess with the white man.
Well, no. I am the top Foo.
Oh.
So I don't need to be no top. I don't need to go to no Foo pages because I run the YouTube yarda.
I identify as a Foo as well. So
No, you don't.
You don't think?
Nah.
I'm not saying that I am. I'm just saying that in my mind,
you're everything, Adam.
I'm liable to act a Foo.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Oh, that's my new page. Act a Foo.
Hey, that's kind of a good one.
Somebody probably already took that, but that's pretty.
I think there was like a rapper called "I'm a Fool" or some stupid shit like that.
No, act a fool. Like, damn, he's acting a fool.
You do act a fool.
But you take the L off, boom.
You do act a fool. I think you act a fool on purpose. You like that shit, fool.
I'm an entertainer.
You are.
I've slowly had to evolve into that.
Yeah, you got to do what you got to do.
You do. You definitely got to. So, okay, you got a long, storied history before we get into the current events. So let's go back in time. Where are you from exactly?
I am from Los Angeles, California, Northeast LA.
Okay. Can we turn that fan thing down? I feel like I'm being blasted by a turbine. Whatever
At least your hair is not blowing.
It's not?
No.
See, that would be cooler. I kind of like that. I like the way my hair looks after I am in the sun. Yesterday I left the beach. The hair looked really good.
You didn't get a tan though, huh? You would have been a little rojo.
My girl said it was my nose.
Yeah, it is a little red.
Okay, sorry. Okay, so you're from what area?
I'm from
LA?
Northeast Los Angeles, Glassell Park.
Okay. And growing up, what was life like for you at
Honestly,
that time?
growing up for me, life was good. I can't complain. My mom was a hardworking lady. My parents did get a divorce. I was able to do what I wanted when I wanted. I would have to be home, obviously, watching my little sister because it was just her and I. My mom had different boyfriends, long-term boyfriends, though. I've always been kind of wild, I should say.
Outgoing.
Super outgoing.
Liable to act a fool.
Liable.
There you go.
I will take accountability, though.
Yeah. Okay. But wait, do you feel like you were kind of pushed off the porch, or did you choose to be with all the bullshit?
I chose my lifestyle. I am the only one. Well, I can't say now. Obviously, before I chose to live the life I live because that's how I wanted to be. I've always been around like the guys, even with my dad growing up. Just me. My uncles are under the cars fixing it. There's me right there, always with the man. It's just the way I was. Always kind of like daredevil. Let's do it. We already knew this girl was going to be a little something, a little wild.
Okay.
Always. I was like writing on walls when I was like maybe like 10 years old. I always kind of wanted to be a gang member.
Okay.
Watching my cousins in the 80s.
You just had a little bit of that streak of wanting to do the wrong thing.
I guess it was just, when they say if it's in the kid, it's in the kid.
Right.
No matter what type of parents you have.
Do you blame your dad for showing you all these images of cool gang members and stuff and basically like causing you to think that that's what an attractive, successful man is?
Well, technically, my father didn't show me that.
Okay.
My father was always a hardworking man. It was my cousins. My aunt had 7 boys. She raised 7 boys. They're gang members. Obviously, not all of them, but the oldest were they're from Dead and Harpies. And in the 80s, it was super crazy in the 80s and early 90s. So
way crazier than it is now. That's
completely different. You can't even compare it because it's completely different eras and years and everything. We are different. Everything is different. The kids look different. Everything. Like the actual gang members don't look like the gang members from before.
Right. Everybody's kind of like an undercover gang member if they are at this point.
Everything.
Back then there was like a uniform.
Definitely a uniform. I think the kids are bringing back the uniform, but it's just to, for fun, to take pictures.
Everything always comes back.
Yeah.
Right.
But actual gang members, I don't think they're dressing like that at all. Kind of look like you, fool.
I have an orange t-shirt and jean shorts. Was this ever a gang uniform?
These days, you never know.
You never know. But, okay, so, the reason why I ask that is because I just wonder sometimes that, like, when my kid comes into the gym this morning, I'm working out, and she sees Kodak Black and friggin' Vaughn off 1700 and shit. It's like, am I programming her mind to think that this is what a cool dude is? This is going to be your Prince Charming?
Well, hopefully not the Prince Charming part, right? But
that's what she likes. She likes Prince Charming because she's reading all these princess books.
Yes.
But then she looks at the TV when I'm in there and she's
sees all
seeing,
these,
oh, this is the coolest guy in the world, this Kodak Black dude. Like, that's what I'm looking for. Like, is that what I'm programming into her brain? I wonder.
Honestly, yes.
Okay.
So you gotta, we have to try not to expose our kids to the things that we don't want them to. Obviously, when they get a certain age, they're gonna choose for themselves. But if we're like bumping whatever it is we're bumping, they're gonna sing along. Do you want your kid singing along to it?
I mean, singing along is one thing.
Yeah, but it's
believing it is another.
Yeah, but singing along as a 6-year-old.
Yeah.
And
it's programmed in your brain.
Put it into her head.
Kill the ops.
Dang, fool.
That's the message of a lot of these songs. Really.
That's kind of intense.
I'm just saying, that's like the message of a lot of songs. The ops need to die.
Yeah.
We got to kill them. We got to figure out how to kill more of them.
Yeah.
As fast as possible.
We don't listen to music at our house. We listen to...
Ever?
I listen to Spanish. I listen to oldies, the R&B. But my husband doesn't listen to music at all. So we write in silence.
He doesn't listen to music at all?
At all. I mean, he'll listen to like slow rock or like if he's editing. He doesn't do music videos anymore. So we don't have to listen to the guys anymore.
Okay.
But yeah, he doesn't. He'll listen to, No Woman, No Cry. He listens to crazy. I mean, you know what I'm saying?
So the whole podcast thing is kind of just for money.
I mean, isn't that what we do it for?
Well, I don't know. A lot of people feel like genuine participants in the culture.
Well, we do listen. Obviously, if he's going to bring a young man if he's going to bring a young man up, of course he has to listen and to see what they have going on in order for them to come on the pod, or do like a mic drop. That's what they want to do. Then yeah, come on, let's.
I'm not going to pretend I listen to every rapper that I interview with any kind of intensity.
Exactly.
But
I mean, of course he has to listen to it, but we don't listen to it like, hey, let's just put it on in the house.
Okay.
That's not what we do.
Okay.
I do my earpod, or I'm dancing in the kitchen, whatever it is. I am the one that listens to it, but he personally doesn't, unless he's gonna work or do whatever it is he's gonna do.
So you're never like whipping up some chilaquiles in the morning, listening to Lefty Gunplay? Oh yeah, that's a good dance. I was trying to figure out exactly how he does that.
Cupid, that's my son's name, right? He does sing that little part of the scary, spooky, hilarious.
Oh, there you go. Yeah.
But I mean,
if I played that song around my kid would probably sing that part.
Yeah,
too.
But to like actually sit there and listen to everybody's album, not really. I'll listen to it in my pod, but
sometimes I feel bad about not listening to enough rap music.
I agree. I feel the same way sometimes. But then I'm like, nah, these fools didn't even share my shit. These fools.
Because sometimes
respectfully, guys.
Okay, sometimes I'm like, I'm gonna listen to every Drake album just to kind of like jog my memory or like remind myself.
But I love Drake.
Right. But then I'll listen to like one album and I just like forget about it.
You don't want to sing along.
I mean, it's just not. It's good, but it's like there's a lot of stuff I don't care about. I gotta skip past like half of every album. It's just too soft for me.
Too soft.
Yeah.
You like the hardcore killing shit. You know what I'm saying? Killing the ops.
I want Drake to kill his ops.
Hey, you can't be saying that.
Okay, not Kendrick Lamar, but just like I want to hear him rap about.
Okay, you want to hear him rap.
Yeah.
You don't want him actually to go catch a case.
No, okay. I want him to send.
Well, we have to choose our words wisely.
I want him to send top 5 to do it.
No,
that's how this works. Yeah,
let's not say that.
Okay, fine.
We don't want to go to. We don't want to go. I don't want to go back to prison. Fucking with you right now, Adam.
I don't think you can get in trouble for me wanting Drake to send someone to go catch a body on his behalf. No. I don't know how that reflects on you.
Listen. People are crazy.
Okay.
People are crazy and people switch shit around and it's just the way it is. I mean, you know the way it is. I know the way it is. I'm just talking shit. Obviously, I know we're not going to go to fucking jail over saying that.
But we might.
But you just never know.
Yeah, you never know.
You never know.
Okay, so you just everything is right outside your door as a kid. Like you're just outside. You're selling crack.
Yeah, I was selling crack.
You got a blick on you.
Yeah, actually, you know what? So my mom, when my parents got divorced, she started being with she got jungle fever, right? So she's went from like with my dad non-speaking English, like he laughs.
She's everything, like, let me find a brother.
And he at work, this light-skinned black man.
Black.
Well, he is.
It's so funny. Every time a Mexican person calls a black guy a black, it's still funny.
It's because I feel like awkward saying that, you know. But that's I loved him. Like he was he was so good to us. But he was undercover crackhead.
Oh, really?
Yeah. And my mom, like, he would go on these binges and my mom wouldn't know. She was this naive Mexican lady, right? Like, now she's not. But obviously, like, before, she was this naive Mexican lady. Like, this fool would leave on binges.
Really?
in her car. Like, I was like, damn, this fool's like doing bad.
Wow.
So obviously at this time, I'm already like 10 years old and 11 or whatever. And I'm already like, I found this crack pipe.
Wow. You hit it or you just looked at
No,
it?
I didn't fucking hit it, bro.
You ended up doing crack, right?
I smoked Primos.
Primos.
Never smoked crack straight.
Because that's one of my memories of when Lush interviewed Eyekon back in the day that I watched like half of it. And I remember just being like, God, they talked about smoking Primos for so long.
Bass head ass fools.
I know, but it was just like such like a shared bond between them.
Yeah, no, smoking crack is kind of intense.
But wait, okay, so you put crack in the blunt and does it get you like to like the way that it would if you smoked crack out of the pipe, or is it a little?
It's a little less.
It is, right?
Yeah, and I don't smoke blunts. I'm more of like a joint girl.
Okay.
So I smoke little tiny Primos.
I just remember I remember trying to do some research and reading a lot of people saying that smoking coke doesn't do it.
Well, yeah, well, smoking coke is not smoking crack.
Well, but like putting coke in the blunt, because we used to do that a little bit.
Yeah, it doesn't hit you the same. It
But
doesn't
okay,
burn
but
right.
crack in the blunt is better.
Yeah,
It's like wax.
I wouldn't compare it to wax, but bro, that shit is kind of intense. Like,
Okay.
But the thing is like all you want to do is all you do is think about hitting it again. Like, it's weird. It's dumb. Honestly, I don't even know why people even smoke crack. I wasn't a crack kid.
Okay.
I was more of a meth head.
Okay. When did that come into the picture?
I was like 16, like 15.
Okay. Who got you into that?
A girlfriend of mine.
And she was like, yo, this meth is fire.
We were at a barbecue. You know, like before in the late 90s, early 2000s, they had like the barbecue Sundays and, you know, the barbecues in the backyard with the NOS tanks.
Oh,
like
even back then, really? Wow.
Yeah, not even like, well, you're not from here, huh?
No.
Okay, so you wouldn't know about 90s barbecues, sweet Sundays, and all of that, right? It was like a thing. It was like the house parties, and it was really, really fun. And on Sundays, they would have barbecues, flyer barbecues. Everybody would go. And this time, my friend was like, hey, we have this. You want to try it? Yeah, so we started just for fun. It wasn't like I'm gonna start this because I'm depressed and I want to cover up the feelings. So who knows? Maybe deep down inside, that's what it was. But in reality, for me, it was just, hey, we're just gonna start for fun.
Right. And was there anybody telling you like, hey, this is really bad. This is gonna fuck you up? No.
No one. We were just like, yeah. I didn't sleep for 2 days. We fucking did one of these moves. You know, put all the flyers on the wall.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
It was a trip, and since that day, it was just like nonstop.
And was it mostly like you say you got into it hanging out with the girls? Was this something where like immediately then you start doing it with the bros as well, or was everybody doing it?
Everybody was doing it.
Okay.
Well, it was just kind of with my homeboys. I didn't really get high till I was older. I mean, I would smoke Primos while we were slanging things like that, but I didn't start smoking meth with my homies until I was already in my 20s.
Okay.
If that makes sense.
Okay.
You
And
know?
what other kind of stuff are you guys doing? You're just hanging out. You're selling drugs. You're getting fucked up. You're
That's all.
kicking it with the other chicks that you're friends with.
Yeah, bringing the chicks to the hood, you know.
Okay. And do you get put on the hood at a certain point?
Yeah, I was in junior high.
Okay.
Yeah.
What'd they do to you?
I got jumped in to the clique, Drew Street.
By chicks.
Yeah,
How many of them?
just like 2 big girls.
And they whooped your ass?
Not
or what?
even. They're like, oh, we need to get you again because we didn't get you good. I was like, really?
Double put on?
Yeah.
What?
But you know, it's different, and it's different.
Okay.
Yeah.
But you didn't get any like mortal wounds, no
No.
serious injuries?
No.
Okay.
Yeah. No.
Damn. Were you thinking about rapping at that time or no?
I never rapped.
No, I'm just wondering. Like, it just seems like, you know, you're doing all the drugs, you're partying, you're in a gang, you're supposed to start rapping, right? Like by today's standards.
Yeah. No, that's not the way it works. You know.
Okay.
Obviously, before we couldn't even be on camera.
Right. So it was like very serious like that?
Very serious. As when I was a teenager, it was completely different. You know, it's just my friends were outside hanging out. Everybody's older brothers from the neighborhood. You know, their brothers get busted and then they become part of the gang. And I don't have no family from my neighborhood at all. I am how I am. I am just me, one person.
Definitely.
Yeah.
And was there much structure at that time? Was there like, you know, we would always kind of compare and contrast like different races and gangs and everything like that.
Well,
like, did it feel like there were like old heads who were kind of in charge of shit?
Yeah, definitely.
Okay.
Yeah, it was super structured. There's actually no black people where I live at all. Like they weren't able to live there.
And what, because you ran them out, or?
Well, I'm not gonna say me, but yeah, it's just
other people ran them
other
out.
people. You know, it doesn't. That's how it was.
Because that was one thing I was wondering about that time period is like how bad was the Mexican on black violence?
It was really bad.
It was, huh?
Well, at least where I lived, like there was no black people whatsoever.
Okay.
Yeah, I was the only Negra.
So where'd the name come from, right? Like, that's confusing to me.
My mom.
Oh, okay. She gave you that name.
She's always called me Negra.
And Negra in Spanish translates to what?
It's black.
Black woman?
I'm the dark skinned one of the family.
Okay. Really?
Yeah.
So the rest of your family's not as dark as you?
Not at all.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. So you can just take a word that's a color and you change it from an O to an A. Boom.
Orange is the new black.
Okay. No, I like it. It sounds cool.
Yeah, right?
Okay. Would you say, if I had asked you at that time, if I had said, what do you actually really think of black people? Would you have said?
I had a black stepdad.
Okay. So you weren't actually racist?
No,
you were just
I'm
kind
not
of
racist whatsoever.
territorial?
Yeah. Well, I just got to follow suit. That's how it goes.
But did you have harsh feelings towards the stepdad once you realized he was an undercover crackhead?
No, I feel bad.
Okay.
I feel bad. No, I've never been like a super judgmental person. I'm super sensitive and I'm very caring and very emotional. I'm a woman. We're supposed to feel those things. And me watching my mom did hurt me. But once I figured out the addiction part, as far as when I got older, then I saw him completely different because he was always so good to us. Obviously he would leave on his binges because he didn't get high at home, which I gotta at least respect that.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, that's cool. I took a lot of pride in hiding my weed smoking from my kid up till this point. At some point, she's going to figure it out. But
yeah, I don't smoke in front of my son either. My oldest, he already knows. He's 22.
22, yeah. 22 for sure. You're figuring shit out.
Oh, that fool knows. I mean, come on. I left him when I went to prison. He's been through it all.
Okay. So you're just kind of running around the streets doing your thing. Are you making any legitimate amount of money or are you just making enough money to kind of keep getting up and hanging out?
Yeah, pretty much. When I was a teen, pretty much. Okay. And when I was 18, I lived by myself. I got my own place with my roommate, which she's my friend. She's still my friend, on the block. And were just partying there, getting high, all methed out. You know, my mom would even give me money to help me pay the bills.
No worries.
No worries. Living it up. Living my best life.
Right.
I lived my life the way I wanted to live. Like, I don't have no regrets. I feel like if you're living in a certain lifestyle, live it to the max. Just don't be a fucking crybaby about it after.
Right. Definitely. So you actively beefing with like other neighborhoods and stuff?
Yeah. It's how it goes.
Right. But you're like really taking part in it? You're like,
yeah, I'll go
sliding,
writing on walls.
as they say now, sliding?
Writing on walls, you know, hey, where you from? Kind of vibes. Yes.
Really? Okay.
Yeah, I did it all.
So you have all kinds of stuff that you can't tell us about?
Yeah, especially because
there's no statute of limitations on murder. Yeah.
Well, no, not even just that. I just feel like this is.
So you got a body?
No, I mean, do I got a body? I sure do.
Okay, that's for Eyekon. That's not for me. I can't be worried about those things. But
I sure do. I have bodies. Yeah.
Okay.
I have my body. Yeah.
You can tell me. I'm not going to tell anyone.
No, Adam.
I'll bleep it out.
No.
No murders. Okay, that's cool.
No murders.
But you shot that thing up in the air a few times?
Oh, for sure. Gang of times. New Year's, here I come.
What's the worst you ever mortally wounded somebody?
The worst?
Yeah, like with the craziest fight or story where somebody got hurt. I was trying to figure out like how deep in the streets you were.
I was extremely deep.
Really?
I don't think a woman, okay, for example, I am a 42-year-old woman, right? And I don't have any families from a gang. I mean, from my gang. And I feel like I'm well respected. And I feel like that says it all. I feel like if I was just lame ass, fucking random ass broad, you know what I'm saying, doing that kind of shit, don't respect a bitch like that.
I was like, girl, you gotta fight for your respect.
You gotta, I mean, I'm sure you're totally aware of that kind of, women have to carry themselves a certain way in order to get respect.
Right. They're just, they're going to be a victim.
Just because a bitch gets doesn't mean shit.
Right.
Just because a bitch fucks a gang of homies doesn't mean she could throw up the neighborhood.
Really, even just banging a bunch of the homies seems like that's a pretty good way to not have any respect amongst the homies.
And it's like,
they might appreciate you.
Yeah, for the moment. But at the end of the day, are they going to respect you? Are they going to support what you do? No.
Yeah.
I feel like my people respect me.
So do you have like some crazy gangbanger boyfriends during this time period, or?
Well, I always had boyfriends, right?
Okay.
I'm a girl, but I never really cared for men like that.
Really?
Men was like, fools are fools. I don't care. It was more about me getting high, partying, being in the streets with my boys. Do I have men? Yeah. Of course, I'm not an ugly person.
But you didn't want to, you didn't want to fall into the trap of seeming like you're just so-and-so's.
Well, I did have that one.
Okay.
But he was from my he is from my neighborhood. And I was like 16 till even after I had my son.
Really?
Yeah, he was, but he was always in and out, in and out. I'm not waiting for no fool. I'm not gonna wait for somebody that wouldn't wait for me.
But you got to hold him down. You're supposed to.
Nah,
that's what this is all about.
You didn't hold it down when you were outside. Why the f should I hold it down when you were inside?
But you're supposed to let him cheat, and you're supposed to just take it on the chin.
No, listen to this. This fool will have girls. I will go in his house, and there will be girls and be like, "Bitch, get the f out. Let's go. I'm taking your ass home."
Really?
That's the kind of relationship.
Wait. You take the girl home?
Like, bitch, get the f up. We're dropping your ass off.
You give her a ride?
I'll give her ass a ride. Go, bitch.
So your boyfriend's dick still smells like her vagina, and you're gonna bring her home.
But I had my baby's dad.
And then you're gonna come back to him and just not care about the fact that he was just getting some pussy.
Do you care?
Sure, yeah. If I showed up at the crib, I'm not bringing
you're 16, 17
Kyle
years old.
home. Yeah.
I mean, but I'm just saying, let's be realistic. You're methed out. People don't give a fuck, bitch. All that mattered to me was like the fact that this bitch knew, get the fuck out, because I'm here.
But I feel like you're not, when you're on the meth, it's not going to make you not care about him blowing somebody else's back out. It's going to make you more angry and passionate.
Well, no, for me, it was more like, this bitch knows I'm here. It's time for her to fucking go.
Okay.
Oh, she's coming. I gotta go.
But isn't giving someone a ride home an act of kindness?
But that's my homies. Like, I know her too.
Oh, really? Oh.
Yeah, it was fucking dumb. Obviously, we're fucking all drugged out.
It sounds kind of incestuous.
Yes.
Everybody just knows each other.
Yeah.
And they're just cheating and giving each other rides and smoking primos.
That shit was intense. Yeah, that shit was crazy. Life was a trip. But hey, it is what it is, right? I wasn't even 25 yet. Anything before 25 don't matter to me.
I hear that. I can't remember most of the stuff before I was 25. So.
Everything was a blur. I remember the things that kind of obviously still.
I'm 41 and I feel like I only remember like the last 10 years. Everything before that,
like, it doesn't matter. Everything before 25 years old, like, bro, I don't even remember.
Actually, part of that's not true because I feel like my memories from high school and shit when I was young, I remember that kind of well because it's like I just had so much less going on. Whereas like when I think about my early 30s, when I was really getting up and banging a different chick every night, for sure I could run into one of those girls and have absolutely no idea who she is.
I understand what you're saying.
You know?
Yeah.
So that's kind of scary.
Yeah. See, that's how I feel when I was before 25 because I got incarcerated at 25.
Then everything slows the down.
Everything was, hey, I'm finally getting to know who I am. I was a mess.
Right.
Yeah. I was smoked the fuck out.
But you weren't doing anything so bad that you would necessarily expect the feds to come pick you up, right? But you're just kind of attached to these other dudes who are basically doing the crazy shit. They're catching bodies and shit.
Well, yeah. Basically, it's like it's a RICO indictment. So if you're part and they have you like there, I'm on the block 24/7. I've been on my block longer than half of a gang of my homies. And I say that respectfully, guys. You know, like they know what it is.
So you could just stand on the corner selling drugs all day and not have to worry about the cops pulling up or sending somebody undercover.
Well, they had a lot of undercovers. We would know. We knew like before. So where I'm from, it's called Drew Street, right? They've been selling drugs there since the 80s. That shit was extremely active, Adam.
Right.
Like we'll have 30 people on the bottom, 10 on the top, 10 in the middle. Just gang of homies just slanging rock.
Really?
Armenians. And anybody will just go and buy crack and somebody was
But doesn't a neighborhood have like sort of rules about who can sell drugs here? Like, isn't that what gangs kind of exist to do?
But we're all from that same neighborhood.
Okay. So everybody's allowed to do this. Okay.
Yeah.
Damn.
We're all allowed to do that. Obviously, you had to pay a little bit of rent.
Okay.
You have to.
Okay.
You know?
But when I was watching a video of you going back to your neighborhood and shit, it was like nobody's outside.
Nobody's outside right there right now.
Which is kind of like a huge percentage of the neighborhoods that I've been through over the years. It's like they come outside because they realize somebody's filming a vlog. But then like before that, it's kind of like there's nobody.
They know I was there.
Yeah.
The ladies, see, my neighborhood is there.
Right.
My neighborhood is the people.
But
not my homies.
What's the reason for why nobody's outside anymore? Is it just because
everybody's outside, just not when they're not supposed to be.
Right.
You get what I'm saying?
But like my
neighborhood is super active still.
Really?
Extremely active.
So you could go there at noon on a Tuesday and there would be people doing all kinds of crazy shit.
No, they don't. It's not like that anymore.
Right.
We had 2 indictments.
Right.
Nobody slangs like that anymore. And if they do, I don't know.
It's short-lived.
No.
We all got phones. Why the fuck you gotta stand outside?
It's not the same.
You get somebody's phone
Time
number.
changes, exactly.
They pull up and serve you, right?
It's completely different. It's completely different. I think it's a good thing. I think it's a good thing. You know, people do things on their own. I don't know. That's not my shit. I don't talk about that. You know what I mean? But it's completely different times. There's the homies still outside just hanging out. Yeah. I don't know what they do. You know, do I talk to them? Yes. I love my boys. When I have events, they pull up.
For sure. Okay, so like, how do you actually end up getting rounded up for this R.I.C.O? Like, and what age were you exactly? 25?
I was 25.
25. Okay.
Well, because there was no way I couldn't be part of it. I'm on the block at all times. There's surveillance of like, hey, this girl is walking up here. Like, this fool's ain't dumb. I've never been caught with anything.
Really?
I've never been caught with drugs, nothing. But people know with the feds, there's no way around it. If they want to take you down, they're going to take you down if you like it or not.
So what's the gist of what the cops are saying to you when you get picked up?
Well, basically I got picked up and it was like the DEA, they broke down, well, you know, they didn't break down my door, but it felt like it, right? They just said, we're taking you in for racketeering. And I didn't even know what racketeering was. But basically my charges were conspiracy to racketeering and distribution of crack cocaine. Those were my charges.
And you were surprised because did you know anybody who had dealt with similar stuff in terms of the R.I.C.O thing? Like, obviously you're used to the cops pull you over and they find a bunch of shit on you.
I mean, obviously you hear, you know, MS 18, they've got it indicted, but I personally wasn't thinking about that. I got pulled over every day for a month prior to them picking me up.
Really?
So there's signs.
And they would search you and
they were just to check the car, just stupid things, you know, the exhaust, hey, the windows are tinted, any excuse just to pull you over.
And
pull me over, I should say.
Do they start telling you right away, like, hey, we really want you to just tell on these other guys who've done more serious things than you?
You know what? I have to say that they didn't really try to ask me anything.
Really?
They only took me down. Obviously, it was 75 of us.
They knew you were too solid.
So they already know the vibes. I was just like, I mean, what am I really going to say? You know, like, what? You guys already know whatever you guys know.
Well, I mean, you could say, yeah, so-and-so killed 5 people and I got evidence.
No.
Well, you could, right?
Yeah, but you got to think about, you have to think about your own family. Do you want your kids watching over their backs because you can't handle being somewhere?
No, totally. I'm just wondering from a cop's perspective, it's like we got 30 people on this case and there's really 4 of them who are like the bad dudes who've done the murders and the crazy trafficking or whatever. And we're going to go to somebody like you. We're going to look at you like a weak link and we're going to try to get you to tell us everything and help make this case open and shut about.
Yeah, no, I basically was just like, nah, I don't want to talk about it. Send me back to the unit.
Okay.
Pretty much.
And so what was it? Would you took a plea deal or you went to trial?
No, nobody went to trial.
Okay.
I took a plea for 60 months. 60 months, which is 5 years in. And then, so total 10, 5 years in and 5 years on probation.
Okay. And was that a tough decision? Were you like overwhelmed with grief when you took this deal?
Honestly, no. My family already knew that I was like, because even when I was about to get sentenced, the judge was like, this is your last time. Are you sure you don't want to cooperate? And then I kind of looked back at my mom and she was like,
she told you not to do it.
Well, because it's like a person that knows the way her daughter is, you always know what kind of kid you have. You know, like a person that denies the way their kids are, it's like, bro, you're fucking up your kid even more. Right. So she knows that I needed that as well. I needed to get put away for my own self, not about the people, for my own self.
Wow.
So that I could get to know who I was. You know, I was already in a year when I got sentenced. So I was already okay. You know what I'm saying? Like I was already like, my mom didn't even like recognize me at one point of how fucking skinny I was.
Really?
Yeah, it was really bad. I was really, really fucking skinny and you couldn't tell me anything.
So when you get locked up, is this just the end of you doing drugs for a significant period of time?
Yes.
Okay.
Well, I haven't used medicine.
You didn't start again when you got out either?
No.
Okay.
No.
So in that way, did you start to see everything clearly at that point? You're like,
yeah, like
sober.
Like my homies, my hood life, like that is still the same. I still feel exactly the same way. I just don't get high anymore. So when a person doesn't use, she doesn't think exactly the same way.
Right.
Am I going to go commit a crime? Am I going to do this because this person, like, you know, no, I'm not. You do it, fool.
So you got out at the age of like 30?
I got out at 30, yeah.
Okay. And you go straight, like you stop breaking the law right then and there? You're like, I'm over it?
I mean, I drink and drive a little bit, but I don't fuck around.
That's like literally.
Like I literally don't fuck around at all. When I got out, I moved to Miami. So I didn't know anybody whatsoever.
But while you're locked up, you do 5 years, woman's prison. How was that?
It was cool.
What's the vibes like?
Girls are girls, right? Girls. It wasn't. I only got in one fight. And I guess it just depends on the kind of person that you are. If you carry yourself like a dumbass, people are going to treat you like a dumbass.
Right.
If you carry yourself like you think you're all hard, somebody's going to be like, hey, bitch, come the f down. You got to just be completely yourself and accept yourself for who you are and just focus on your program.
Right.
You know, girls are bulldagging, having girlfriends, all that shit. You know what I'm saying? So
women's prison, no gangs?
Not really. I mean, is there girls that, stick, the Mexicans, Yeah, of course there is.
But not like where I was at. Racial politics? Like you could be friends with a black woman, you could hang out, you could eat at the same table as other races? Okay. I
mean, I'm sure, in state prison, I've never been in state prison. I've interviewed girls that have been in state prison and they're like, it kind of is like that. But in the feds, it's not like that.
Okay.
At least for me.
And the violence wasn't that crazy?
Nah.
This is what I always hear is that the women just ain't really.
We just chill, bro. Yeah. We just work out. I mean, there's either you work out or you don't. I was in Minnesota. We had pool tables, flat screens on every pool table. Like it was chill.
So the same way that dudes are putting all this time into like fashioning knives and figuring out how they can make drugs and stuff, are the women just like figuring out how to beautify themselves? Yes. You're like trying to figure out how to get your eyebrows just right using whatever you have in prison.
Yeah. Well, in prison we have real makeup.
Oh, you do?
Yeah.
You can have makeup. That's
you can order it from the store.
Wow, I never thought about that.
Yeah, they have irons, flat irons, curling irons.
Oh, what the f***? You give an iron? I feel like the men are not allowed to have irons, right?
Yeah.
I'm going to heat that iron up and put it on somebody's face.
But then if you do that, then you're not going to have no more iron for the house and the people are going to be mad at you.
Is there PC for the women as well? Or is it not even really necessary?
I don't think it's, I don't know, in state probably, they have put them in separate yards, but and the feds, I feel like they all go to camps.
And are there male correctional officers?
Yeah.
And are you guys looking at them like something to eat?
Not me. Not in Minnesota, man.
You didn't even think about Minnesota.
Country white ass fools.
Really?
Respectfully, you know what I'm saying?
No, that's cool. But really, so like...
Respectfully, guys.
But are the guys kind of being objectified and the women are looking at them like,
no, yeah. Well, when I was at MDC, the guys, the COs at MDC, they were just like, LA fools, bald, tattoos, And
are they fucking the girls ever?
I personally never seen anything of that happen.
It's got to be tricky to pull off.
I never seen it happen. Obviously, there's stories, that you hear girls getting pregnant, shit like that. But I never experienced any of that.
Really?
Maybe the COs know who to talk to, who not to talk to. I can't say, okay, I'm lying right now. I can't say a Marshall didn't fucking write me where I was incarcerated. I can't say a Marshall didn't fucking try kissing me in the fucking elevator.
Really?
Yes.
Wow. And were there cameras everywhere at that time or no? It was before all that?
No, I think there's, obviously, I don't know. And the elevator, he tried kissing me. Maybe he knew there was no cameras.
It's just hard for me to believe that in a prison that there's anywhere that you could actually somebody that doesn't at least have a camera.
Yeah.
What are they doing if you're allowing that to happen?
No, yeah, I agree. But it didn't happen to me. Like, he didn't do it again. Okay. I was like, hey, what the fuck are you doing?
So really a pretty chill 5 years. You get out. No real serious trauma. A lot of guys come out of there and they're f***ed after.
Because the guys have to be freaking...
Yeah, you got to be a warrior. And you got to get f***ed in the ass by a dude who's bigger than you.
Yeah.
I don't
want, sorry, guys.
I would be open-minded about it, but...
Hey, Adam's like, take me to jail right now. Hey, little nasty.
Pause.
Dang.
Big old pause.
Dang. No, Adam said no pause.
Big pause. If I get in prison, let's pause. I'm going to be saying pause the whole time.
It's horrible.
But you got to be able to joke about it, right?
No, of course.
Yeah.
I used to ask the guys, hey, did you ever, what is it called? I was saying keister.
Keister.
No, keister's for the girls.
No, it's for men, too.
But what is
your
it?
Keister's your asshole.
Okay, well, I guess so. That's what I would always ask the guys, hey, did you keister anything? Yeah. But I stopped asking them that.
I mean, I read, what's his name, Boxer's book. And this fool seemed like he had a knife in his ass for like decades. And not like a little knife either, like big ass knives, like wrapped in all kinds of shit. So like at any given moment, you gotta like, yeah, because when I get tested at the STD clinic, you gotta like put this little Q-tip thing in your ass. And it kind of makes you realize like, even when I just got out of the shower, even when I took a shit, whatever, like You don't got to go that far up there to find a little poo-poo.
Yeah. Yeah.
So the idea of pulling out this crazy ass poop knife is just wild, bro. Imagine you got to walk around and like you can't even bend down to tie your shoes.
Say, homie, don't look at my socks.
I mean, I'm just saying. Yeah. You can't do a sock check?
Oh my God, that is terrible though, huh? Poor guys. They'll be going through it, huh?
I mean,
especially like the first timers. You gotta do what you gotta do. You want to be active.
What, they're really getting piped down?
Those fools are. I don't know if the fools are getting really piped down, but
really?
I don't think so. I mean, they're getting piped down by their own fucking knives, but
right.
I mean, it's not the same. They're not enjoying it, kind of vibe.
Wes Watson said he spent years with his paperwork up his ass.
I don't know.
I can't imagine sleeping like that.
Me either.
But you got to keep it on you, I guess. It just seems so stupid. It's like, what, you can't give me 5 minutes to go get my paperwork. I gotta keep this in my ass so it's like automatically available. That's insane.
I don't know if they have to keep it in their ass. So their paperwork, you could travel with your paperwork. That fool is probably on some sick shit.
So you never had to hide any contraband inside of your body?
Yes.
You
but
like
not through
that?
my
You like these
ass?
questions, Eyekon?
But not through my ass.
No, you got a way better holding tank if you're a girl. Yeah.
Yeah.
The ass is ridiculous. Yeah. That's prehistoric.
Yeah. Yeah.
Barbaric. Yeah.
Not in my ass.
No, yeah, for sure. Okay, so you get out and you move to Miami. Why though? You're just like, I got to get away from everything in the hood?
No, not at all. It was actually the best thing that ever happened to me. I moved out there because my mom relocated. My mom works for the Four Seasons, so she relocated while I was incarcerated. She had my son, so of course I'm gonna go where my son is.
Okay.
I never been there a day in my life.
Really? You get there.
I get there. My mom lives in Brickell, fucking beautiful, you know?
Uh-huh.
I go to the halfway house. Everybody speaks Spanish. I speak Spanish, but fucking Cubans are completely different.
Right.
You know?
They don't know anything about your street shit.
They don't know
it's
anything.
A fresh, clean slate.
Super. Yeah, but you know, you always attract your own fucking kind.
Right, because then you're going to start getting involved in their politics,
no,
right?
Definitely not.
No?
No,
nothing like that at all?
Nothing like that. It was I partied a lot. You know, I went to a lot of clubs. It was a completely different life. I never lived out in the world sober. I was feeling myself. You know, I got out, I worked out. I was feeling myself. I worked for this tech accounting lady. I was living it up.
And they think it's pretty cool that you made it through prison. You survived LA
Well, I got the job.
and prison.
I got that job through a guy that lived in the halfway house.
Wait, what job?
Well, working for the accounting lady.
Oh, okay.
So I got nobody was tripping because the lady's son was in prison as well.
Okay. And do you end up getting into any stuff out there,
No.
or you really keep your nose clean?
I actually did keep my nose clean. I got a probation. I never even got in trouble. Not one time. I didn't smoke weed whatsoever. I did everything correctly.
Okay. That was good. You just completely changed your life around?
I mean, no, I didn't change me. I just know that I can't do certain shit because I don't want to get in trouble. I don't want to leave my son. I don't want to hurt my son. You know, I feel like people don't completely change. You just know that you can't do certain things. Like I'm still me.
Right.
I'm still myself, but I just don't fuck around.
How old's your son right now?
My oldest is 22.
Jesus Christ, 22. What's it like having an adult?
They're such assholes.
Really? You don't
Such
give a fuck?
fucking
Like,
asshole.
he's just not trying to hear shit?
He just doesn't fucking care. He's a good boy though. He's a good boy. He's an artist. He's a gamer. He kind of
okay,
streams a
that's
little
good.
bit. He has a girlfriend. He has a little white girlfriend too at that, fool.
Okay.
Yeah.
Really? I don't think we call it bunny hopping in your culture, but
And no, she's super sweet. Her name is Madison, but
really?
yeah.
And she meets you and
And I'm the same. Like and she's like very private. You know, she didn't even go to school. She got homeschooled. And
okay.
here comes me, this fucking mom, right?
Yeah.
But no, she's super nice. She's super sweet.
Do you think your son like goes on dates with girls and just trauma dumps about his mom being a felon and everything?
No,
No.
definitely not.
Because all right, I feel like if you're a young dude, you're trying to figure out who you are. It's got to be kind of like this weird thing to wrestle with that your mom has a sort of larger than life internet personality. Not only is she a felon, she's a podcaster. She's out here. She's telling crazy stories. She's on No Jumper, apparently. Like that's got to be for him. Like, do you think he tries to just reject it?
No, I think he likes it.
He thinks it's kind of funny,
Yeah.
but he's not drawn to the streets or anything.
No, not at all. He has this dark sense of humor. He is he is something else.
Okay.
Yeah, he is. He's something else.
Really?
We clash a lot because I don't like what he says. Right?
Really? Why? He's got what kind of jokes?
He's just.
Nasty stuff. Do you watch Andrew Tate?
I don't like that man.
So he does.
Yeah.
Oh shit, he's a misogynist.
He's just like, I don't know. I don't even want to talk about him.
Oh wow. Okay.
Just wait till your daughter gets big. When she's a teenager.
She's not gonna be a red pillar.
We don't know how she's
We don't know
gonna
though.
be.
Maybe, yeah. She might be one of them. Yeah, I don't know.
Especially with listening to Kodak Black. I don't know what the fuck, you know? You better get it together, Adam.
I know. I put on Kendrick around her the other day. It's like, you don't notice how much Kendrick is swearing until you listen to it with your kid. And you're like, damn, you just said the F word like 8 times. I got to turn this shit off before my girl hears it.
Yeah. I mean, we could say F all day long.
Yeah.
And my son's like, hey, mom, no more saying the F word. Or I could even just be like, me. He's like, don't say those bad words to yourself.
Even at 22?
No, my 6-year-old.
Oh,
my 22-year-old does not give a fuck.
Right.
Yeah, he just doesn't care.
See, I got back from New York the other day, said that F word right in front of my kid, just like completely forgot to be in my dad mode of conversation. And my girl's looking at me, hey, what are you doing? And I'm like, okay, back to normal.
Yeah, you have to. We have to in order to, protect our kids and raise them. I mean, I don't know about raise them right, but at least try to be the best.
Yeah.
Like obviously we can't prevent or hide, box them up so much so they were like super naive because they have to know about the world, right?
Right, yeah.
But we still have to try our best.
Yeah, it's just something so disgusting and horrible about the idea of like a 4-year-old saying the F word at school that you just, even though they're going to know these words, they're going to say all these words by the time.
It's like embarrassing as a parent.
Yeah, it's going to make you look like the worst parent on earth.
Yeah, like mine would be like, this fool. And I'm like, hey, don't say that.
Right.
This fool. Don't say that at school.
Even just saying this fool.
I don't like it.
Really? Wow. Yeah.
And I'm like fool all day long, right?
See, okay, we're in a weird situation right now because my girl loves the new MGK song. And me and MGK, at least previously, have been ops. And
dang, she's already going with the ops, fool.
Personally, I feel like if I saw MGK right now, it would be okay. But still, as far as things are concerned, me and him are supposed to get along. And I almost started to tell my kid, this guy doesn't like me very much. And my girl immediately was like, no, don't. She just she doesn't even want. And so, okay, I play the Kendrick Lamar album around my kid. And I say, I'm like, you know how you like Drake? This guy hates Drake. My kid's like, what? Why? And I'm like, okay. Also, he makes whole songs hating on Drake. She's like, why? I'm like, it's kind of a thing in rap. People won't like each other, so they make songs about each other. Oh my God, my girl's looking at me with the death stare. She's just like, no. She does not want my kid to know about the idea of these sort of performative animosities. Yeah.
Yeah, we don't need that. It's it's already it's a negative thing.
Yeah. You just don't want to tell your kid about anything negative or mean. My kid just found out about death. So she's got a lot of questions about that too.
Yeah, no, mine's like, they're going to heaven? Yeah, they're going to heaven. They're not going to ever see their family anymore?
Yeah.
They're not going to see their family anymore.
Yeah, I don't believe in God.
Well, whatever. The higher up, whatever it is.
But I'll still kind of lie to her. And
have to,
I told her I'm going to see my cat when I die.
Yeah.
He's dead. Yeah.
My cat is dead as well.
Right. I don't actually think that, but it sounds good.
Whatever. We have to go along with whatever because we can't do that to our kids, bro. Just because we're fucking burnt the fuck out and we think however the fuck we think.
Yeah. My girl's been mad
it's
at
the
me
truth.
about
we can't do
a
that
year ago I told her Crip Mac was in jail and then she had hella jail questions. Are you gonna go to jail? Am I gonna go to jail?
Poor Crip Mac. He's almost home?
6 months or something. Yeah.
Oh yeah, that fool's shorter than a midget on his knees.
Actually, the moment where she started to not be worried about jail anymore is when I told her, I'm like, listen, Crip Mac's chilling in jail.
Yeah.
He don't care. This is regular.
On hood.
I'm like, it's not that big a deal. Yeah. You can say that?
Yeah, why not?
Okay.
I can say what I want.
No, I don't know. You don't have any current gang animosity?
I don't have no gang animosity.
You don't funk with the blacks?
They're not part of my area.
But if they were.
No, I'm 43 years old.
Okay.
Definitely not. That's well, you got to leave that to the younger kids. If that's the life they're living, eventually, shit changes. I'm a grown person. I am a woman. I'm a mom. I am me.
So there's nobody that if you saw them, you would have to get out of character. Well, I guess individuals. Sure.
Individuals.
But not based on their...
Not based on where they're from. And the people that I probably don't even give a shit about, they're not even from gangs.
Right. That's why as an adult, the gang shit does start to seem pretty ridiculous at a certain point because it's you just realize that this is something that means a lot to people when they're 18 or 25 or whatever. And then by the time you get to 40, it's very few people.
Well, my hood means my world still. My hood, where I'm from, not certain homies.
Right.
My homies is not my neighborhood.
Right.
You know, there's a lot of homies that they're just my homies. They're not my friends.
And if you look at the neighborhood down the street that you spent all these years having problems with, it's like, why? Why would you have problems with them when they're basically in the exact same position that you're in, and they have so much in common with you that it's like,
well, it's just the way it is, unfortunately.
Yeah,
you know,
definitely.
And the older ones, we get it. We respect each other. We don't, we don't cross each other's shit, and it's just what it is.
That's why I feel like the most fascinating thing to me is when I meet dudes who are old and are still hung up on all that shit.
It's most of the time they're on drugs.
Or they're just, somebody killed your fucking
Well, that's different. If somebody killed you, it's not the gang, it's the person.
Right.
Obviously, it's because of the gangs, but that's what it is. You want to be from this gang or you're going to be from this gang.
I got on the phone with somebody the other day, like an older gang member dude, and he was just like super mad at every op still, like just like really giving me like long lists of reasons why he doesn't with all these different hoods. Really? And I'm just listening to him
and the person was in the streets.
Yeah, and he's old as fuck, but he's still like he still feels very strongly with
obviously he ain't doing anything because he's not in prison, so he
did a long ass time in prison. Yeah,
for the ops,
for things he did to other people, for sure. Yeah,
some people get stuck in their ways, especially when they're older. You can't change the way a person thinks when they're older. It's impossible. So sometimes you just got to let old person be.
I know. That's why I find it so fascinating, though. It's just to like see somebody that's just never going to let it go.
Yeah, never.
Yeah.
You're just like, okay, whatever you say.
Yeah, no, for sure. Okay, so you're in Miami, and then when do you end up coming back to LA, or how much of a life do you build out there?
So I did build a life. I had a boyfriend. Technically had 2 boyfriends while being out there. 5 years, 2 boyfriends is pretty good, no? For sure. I shouldn't have had no boyfriends, to be honest.
Really?
Yeah.
Why?
Because I feel like when a person gets out of prison, you shouldn't be in a relationship unless you were in a relationship with that same person.
Right.
Because you got to give yourself that space.
To figure out who you are.
To live out here, to see, you want to party, if you're going to this person, like, you don't need to, like...
Because you get out of prison, you don't really know who you are for a period of time, or it's like it takes time for you to kind of catch up with everything.
Yeah. So... I mean, I had a boyfriend, and I was with him for like 2 years, I think, 2 years. And he was cool, but it wasn't for me. Definitely wasn't for me. And then I got with another boyfriend. He was younger than me.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. Younger.
You don't see a lot of that.
No, we see a lot of that. This was like almost like 10 years, bro.
I bet you don't see a lot of young dudes with an older woman.
No. It's always opposite, huh?
Yeah.
I think kind of women, well, he was maybe not 10 years, but he was like at least 6 years younger than me. And I shouldn't have done that either. I'm going to say I don't regret a lot of things, but I do regret that because I feel that person could have took me back to the old me. Because he would do mollies and, that kind of shit. And I didn't want to fall back into that.
Really?
So it was super abusive. Like he would abuse himself. He would throw himself down the stairs.
What?
Like, yeah, some fucking sick ass fool. Yeah.
So is this just Miami stuff?
Some, Dade County ass fools.
Do you feel like dudes in South Florida are kind of...
They're just more...
They're just a little weirder than out here?
No, they're just completely different. Okay. Different, the way they live, the way they behave, the way they speak. It's just completely different lifestyles.
Right.
Completely different lifestyles. I don't know. I regret that shit. That fool was something else. And right when I ended that relationship is, I already met my husband though.
Oh, really? How'd you meet Eyekon?
I met him. He used to rap with my best friend.
Okay.
When he was part of this group called The Campaign. And my best friend was part of that group. So when I was one of my vacations back home, I met him at a video shoot. But he had his girlfriend and I had my boyfriend. So it was like really nothing. Like whatsoever.
No vibe.
No vibe. Like okay. He at all. I was just there and he was filming and that's what it was. And he broke up with his girlfriend and I broke up with mine. And he wrote a mean post on fucking Facebook.
A mean post.
Not like mean, but like mean long.
Oh, okay.
You get what I'm saying? Not mean.
About what? Saying my heart is broken or saying fuck that bitch? I normally
just post all the good things in my life. Da da da. Well, I'm going through this. Blah 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 blah. I'm breaking up with my girl. Da 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 da. So I get in his messenger, and I was like, "Hey, I'm going through the same shit. Stay strong." But I didn't hit send. I hit the video chat.
So you sent him a video?
No, it was. I called him, and I was like, "Oh shit, I didn't mean to call you."
And this was a real accident, or you technically you did want to call him?
No, it was like a real accident.
Okay.
Like I didn't do it on purpose. Like
okay,
nah, I didn't do that shit on purpose. So whatever, he was like, nah, it's cool. You know, he knows his angles. He was in shape. He was way thinner. You know, like people gain weight in relationships. You know what I'm saying? It's just what it is. Anyway, so he was way thinner. He definitely knows his angles. And he was like, nah, it's cool. Don't worry, you know? And since then, we just were on the phone. Like a month after, he flew to Miami.
Really?
And I only had 6 more months left on probation.
Oh, wow.
So he would fly.
So you had to stick around for 6 more months.
6 more months.
Got it.
And he had a girl pregnant.
Even then?
Yeah, he had like 2 girlfriends, like me, you know.
So he's going through this bad breakup. You know he's a cheater.
No, he wasn't cheating on his girl. He had these girls after the breakup.
Oh, okay.
Me and him were in a relationship. He could talk to whoever the heck he wants,
but
you know?
he knocked one of them out.
Yes, hey.
Yeah.
That's what happens, right?
Really? Wow, you're very forgiving and accepting of this sort of thing.
Hey, it is what it is.
Right.
I'm not going to be like, oh, what the fuck? I still don't throw it in his face because he was open. If you're real and you're honest and you say, hey, this is what's happening in my life. If you don't want to be in it, it's cool. If you want to be, this is what's happening.
I just think for a lot of people, a baby with someone else, like a newborn or an unborn baby, like that's got to be an alarm bell.
And I was like, so I said, well, I guess I'm going to be a stepmom.
You're looking at it like he's so in demand that he couldn't possibly go a few months without having another baby. He's single. He's single. He got to knock somebody up.
I didn't even think about it. Like, I didn't even think about it. I was just like, I guess I'm going to be a stepmom.
Okay. So he flies out to hang out with you. How long you make him wait?
Nah, we got it in the same time. You know, but we would talk. We talked for a whole month.
You were primed by the time you got out there.
Yeah, we were already like, you know.
Okay,
we talked for a whole month. He flew out, and then he would just fly once or twice a month to Miami.
Right. And what would you describe as what you liked so much about him?
Honestly, he wasn't a man to say, I'm going to do this. He just did it. Like, he's not like, he was like, I'm going to go over there. All right, cool. I'm going to stay here. This is where I'm going to be. This is the room. Like, he just did everything on his own. Like, well, hey, does your son need anything? Or like, just things like that. He was just a man of like, you know, fools talk.
You were used to dealing with a lot of dudes who basically wanted you to like help them run their lives because they kind of couldn't exist.
He was a man. He's a man.
Mm-hmm. You know, and he was already kind of established. Like, was he doing well for himself, money wise, and everything at that time?
Yeah, he was.
And what was it? 10 years ago?
I'm not gonna move to LA with no broke ass fool.
Right. But what is this? 10 years ago?
Yeah.
Okay.
This is 2000. We started talking 2015. I moved back home to 2016, May of 2016. So it's almost 10 years.
Wow. And would you say that this was the first guy that you've been with dating wise that was like actually successful, that had their life together, that seemed like they had some kind of plan? Because before that, when you were younger, it seemed like you were hanging out with dudes who were kind of pieces of shit.
Well, no, I never. I never been with a broke fool like that though.
Okay. So even if they were fucked up, they were still.
They were all right.
They were doing all right.
You know, right, we got some. You know, like I've never been with like. I'm just gonna be with
a pure loser,
bum ass
fool. Because
at least gonna be hustlers.
We always see women. It's like a stereotype of like women who end up like they're dope, they're hot, they're valuable or whatever, and then they end up in a relationship with a dude where everybody around them is like, whoa, like why? You weren't that type.
Nah, I didn't even really take anybody serious like that.
Got it. So at what point you guys like? How long were you talking to him before you got like locked in, serious? We're together.
So I was gonna get off probation, right, in May. So he was like, what are we going to do? Like, I'm not moving over there. And I don't want to have a long distance relationship. I don't have any family in Miami. My mom moved back. I'm just there. So I was like, okay.
You were ready to go.
I guess I'm going home.
Were you worried that by going back to LA that you would fall back into your old ways?
No.
No meth? No meth temptation?
No.
Okay.
I mean, I can't say I don't dream about it still sometimes.
Really?
When I wake up and it's like,
good.
I could taste it in my mouth. It's not that it's good. It's just the addiction. I can't explain it unless you're a fucking addict, you know?
No, I got plenty of things like that too. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Still think about the Zans once in a while, you know?
Yeah.
You never did that.
I don't like downers.
Yeah.
I'm a fucking energy ass. I already have a lot of energy. I don't need to be smacked down. I don't like that.
I used to like fucking around with Adderall, but it's been like 10 years, 15. It's been so long.
Yeah.
I can barely even remember what that was like.
I just don't. I don't even, I don't, I mean, I drink. Yeah. You know?
Right.
I smoke, but I don't fuck around at all. Especially now with all the drugs that are so bad. I know so many people dying off this damn fentanyl shit.
So you're having the best, most fun turned party night of your life, and somebody pulls out some coke, and you're still saying no?
Yeah.
Even if you're drunk?
Even if I'm drunk.
That's good. Yeah. I don't think they can get me to do coke at this point.
I want to. Nah.
It's just not worth it.
It's not worth it.
The next day is tough.
Yeah, even just getting up like with the hangovers. I don't even drink like that because of that reason. I got to wake up. I still got to cook. I still got to deal with my 6-year-old. I got to still clean because I got to mop my floors every fucking day. I don't like that.
I don't even think that I know what it would be like to do coke without also getting shit-faced. That's my problem. Some people seem like they can kind of handle it, but I feel like if I'm doing coke, I'm gonna have to get drunk. And that's
yeah. Well,
really
what's the fuck? We're going all in, or what the fuck?
Yeah, and we're having a kid. It's like no, I'm not.
You're gonna say, "Hey, mom, I'm happy." Nah.
Maybe once my kid is grown, then I can start
Hopefully
doing coke
not.
again.
Bro, no. You're gonna be too old.
I know, but like Elon Musk is doing ketamine and coke and shit all the time.
Yeah, but who cares?
I listened to a whole podcast about what a drug addict he is today, and it really did have me kind of thinking of like, damn, maybe I should have kept going. Like,
no, Adam.
But sometimes don't you think that like if you're a good drug user that it could make you like a supercharged, powerful human being?
No. You're going to fall eventually. And even if you don't fall, somebody else is going to feel that.
Yeah, I'm not going to do it.
Yeah, I'm not going to do that.
So, okay, you moved to LA.
Yes.
And what do you start doing out here to get your life in order?
So when I moved back home, my husband already had the house, everything furnished, down to my son's, like everything new, down to my son's shampoo and conditioner. Like it was good. He went to school. I didn't work right away, but I did start to work at Norm's.
Norms. Shout out Norms.
Yeah.
Lovely diner
As
chain
a
around here.
waitress, right?
Okay.
And it was cool, but I feel like the changes, like the weather, I was getting a lot of allergies. Like my face would get swollen and numb up. So I was like, fuck it, I'm just not, And then I started working for this wooden lumber company for whatever years. And then COVID happened.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
And then COVID hits, and that's when you have the bright dental idea?
I started doing tooth gems a little bit before COVID.
Okay.
And then COVID happened, and I was like, fuck it, I'm just going to do the teeth whitening as well because I need to add to, my business. So.
Okay. And were you instrumental in Eyekon no longer shooting music videos? Like, what year does that happen?
He just stopped shooting music videos.
Oh, that's newer. Okay.
So he just did that maybe about 1.5 years, 2 years ago.
Because that's kind of weird because I didn't know him back then.
Yeah.
I know him as a post music video shooter.
Yeah, no, I was with him. We would go everywhere. Culiacan, Sinaloa, Obregón, Guadalajara, Santa Barbara. Anywhere we would go film music videos.
I'm surprised he would hang it up though. It feels like if you have the power to do that and it's a good hustle, like maybe you slow down.
It just gets annoying.
Yeah, that's
it gets annoying dealing with fucking everybody that respectfully, everybody's fucking Drake.
Yeah. Oh, everybody's just a diva?
Everybody's a diva. Motherfuckers don't know their words. They want to talk shit. That shit gets annoying.
Really?
After a while, we'll leave it to the next generation.
That's interesting.
Obviously, if you really want him to shoot, then you just got to pay a lot more.
Oh, really? Oh, well, maybe I will. What's the biggest music video we ever shot?
I don't know.
I mean, neither. I don't know. Yeah. Are you sure he actually did shoot music videos at one point, though?
He did.
It's not all just like a lie.
Nah, have shot a minimum over 1,000 videos.
Holy
minimum.
Shit. That's a lot.
Minimum.
Damn, that's crazy.
Yeah, minimum. He would be able to shoot 3 to 4 music videos in a day.
Wow. And so when you guys move in LA, it's just smooth sailing, no problems in the relationship.
Yeah, we're cool.
Really?
Yeah, we didn't start having like fighting with each other until the baby was born.
Really? And then what kind of issues you start having?
Just like, oh, you're not doing this right, or like, you know how it is.
Baby introduces a lot of complications.
Yes, like I'm going through postpartum, and he's, it's just a lot. But not fighting. We never fight over other people in our lives. Like it's never been like, oh, cheating or him cheating. We've never fought of those situations ever in our relationship because I feel like we're older and we already been there and done that. You know what I'm saying?
So you guys were both done with drugs by the time you started to live together?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. He didn't even smoke weed anymore.
Oh, okay. Well.
Yeah.
So that whole part of your life is kind of smoothed over. Okay.
Yeah. It's just, we just calm.
What's the worst physical abuse that you've ever delivered towards him?
The most physical abuse?
The most damage you've ever done to him?
Probably threw a phone at him.
Okay. But did it give him like a black eye or anything?
No, because I've been in abusive relationships before. And he's been an abuser, I'm sure.
He's been the abuser?
I'm sure. Other relationships.
Well, big of you to admit that, yeah.
He's cheated on girls. That's a fucking abuse. You know what I'm saying?
Not like...
Man, you're mentally fucking somebody up.
Okay.
I don't give a fuck how you want to put it, how much you want to justify it. That's just abuse.
But he's not allowed to abuse you either, right?
No.
Okay.
That's something that, look, once you put your hands on me, or even me, him, all respect is lost.
Yeah.
I'm not going to give a fuck about you.
Yeah.
And once I don't give a fuck, man.
Yeah.
That's like a whole different thing.
I feel like if I were to punch my girl one time, it's just like, that's going to kind of spoil the whole thing. I'm like, damn, you're just waiting to do that this whole time?
Yeah. Weak ass fool.
Yeah.
You know?
But I know so many relationships where it's like, at some point you realize like, oh, they be hitting each other.
No, there's a lot of relationships that are like that. And it's just sad. Like, you're not willing to let go. Like, what the fuck are you grabbing onto?
Right.
Like, there's nothing there. Love yourself. Love yourself.
No, definitely. Okay. But when did you guys decide that you were going to have a kid? 4 years ago? So during the pandemic? No, before it.
No,
right before
actually,
it.
So we've been together for almost 10 years. We got married in 2019 or 18? 2018, we got married. I came back pregnant from our wedding.
Whoa. Okay.
Yeah. Like I had a miscarriage December, and then I got pregnant, I guess, in May when we got married. Right. And then I had my son in January of 19.
And so I know you got a tattoo in honor of the miscarriage.
Yes.
But were you just kind of like guessing at what the kid would have looked like?
I was already, it's a Dumbo, and I just have like, because I just thought
it's not that's your actual 6-year-old above it.
No, this is
that's your 22-year-old.
My 22-year-old.
Okay, gotcha.
Yeah, gotcha. This is my, the miscarriage, the baby, like Nelila. And this is my son's name, Cupid Valentino, our son's name.
See, I thought it was pretty interesting you got that tattoo, because I feel like a lot of people have miscarriages and they just try to forget about it, try to move on. But it is like an extremely traumatizing experience for a lot of people.
Look, and I always tell my homies, the guys, if you guys are listening, if your girl tells you she had a miscarriage and she didn't go to the damn hospital, she's a fucking lying. Unless she's like 1 month or like weeks. That shit is like, it's
a big deal.
I had the same contractions. Really? I've never experienced that in my life.
Wow.
Till I had the miscarriage, and I was already a grown woman. I had Cupid at 37.
Wow.
So that shit is crazy. So if your girl tells you she had a miscarriage, bitch is lying.
Really? Then girls do that just to like get some money out of them or whatever?
Let me tell you, girls be doing that shit.
Wow. That's serious. That's a grimy bitch right there. I never...
Adam, you know damn well bitches be doing that shit.
I never had it done to me.
Okay.
So I don't know.
But you're around a lot of men. Men don't.
No, okay.
Hey, let me ask you
this. The hustle I'm familiar is she says she needs an abortion. You give her $500, and then did she get an abortion? We don't know. I've never really had that done to me.
Abortions are $500.
It's not $500. You can get them
bitches for free.
How?
Medi-Cal.
Really?
And most of these bitches, if they're having fucking fools like that, bitch, you got Medi-Cal.
I feel like if I get a girl pregnant, I am so happy to spend the $500. That's the best $500 I'll ever spend in my entire life.
Okay, let me ask you this, since you said that.
Sure.
Why would you want to like give her $500 to have a miscarriage, but you're down to bone her? Like you want to just f this bitch, but if she has a baby, like she's good enough to f, but not good enough like
to spend 20 years raising a child with.
Yeah.
So I have a lot to explain to you about like men. Is we want the pussy and we don't want everything that comes with it, especially the child.
So then you got to wrap it up.
The percentage of women I've had sex with in my life who I'd be willing to have children with is very low, probably like less than 1%. Whereas the percentage of women on earth that I would want to sleep with is
a gang,
70% plus probably. Yeah. Really, if they're breathing, that's really enough for me.
Shut up. Fucking nasty ass.
I just want to break that down for you. Is that see almost everyone, children, almost no one. So really, it's a hell of a thing.
No, I get it. So I only have 2 kids.
Yeah, see, there you go. Yeah. And even with you, a large percentage of men that you at one time are okay with sleeping with, you don't want to trust them to be a father.
God.
Yeah.
No.
Right.
Yeah, you're right.
So how is Eyekon as a dad?
He's a really good dad. I feel he does feel bad that he's not able to be there for his other son. Okay. Because he does have a 22-year-old as well. He had him at 16.
And he lives where?
He lives here.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, he's tried. He was there for. I feel like it changed once our son was born.
Uh-huh. In what sense? Like
Like,
he
he didn't
can't be with them in the sense of like not
Like he just doesn't want to come around his dad anymore.
really. Why?
I don't know. We wish we could know.
He's just super tight with his mom or something?
He lives with his grandma.
Really?
Me and his mom is cool. We've even smoked together. She's dope.
And you don't know why?
Honestly, I don't know. I feel that he might have got a little jealous.
But of a 6-year-old?
Yeah.
At 22, how jealous
Well,
can you
look.
be of a 6-year-old?
My son, when I was pregnant, he never even touched my stomach.
Really?
He said he was going to ruin our lives.
What?
And he was already having sex. So it's like, bro, it's just the way kids are.
Right.
You know, it's just the way they are. I don't know what it is, to be honest. I really wish he would come around. You know, my son does ask for him all the time.
Mm.
And it's only been like 4 years that he hasn't really been around. We saw him last year.
Really?
But like me and his mom talk, I'm sure if I text him, he'll respond to me. But he just doesn't want to talk to his dad. I don't know why.
Like my vision of having kids is that you are just connected to them for the rest of your life. You never stop communicating with them. You talk every day. It's just so foreign to me to think that at some point I could end up in that kind of situation. But also I'm so unbelievably naive about the whole child rearing
Like
thing.
we could go to his house and his grandma would be like, oh, you know, Eric doesn't feel like coming outside right now.
Really?
It's what he wants to do.
Eyekon son, get your shit together. A lot of people don't have dads.
Yeah.
It can't be that bad. Come on.
Like, and honestly, it was a Christmas where I told my son, if you don't call your dad and ask him and tell him what you want, or even don't fucking call him and ask him for a gift.
Mm.
So I called his mom and I told her the same thing.
Mm.
I don't think they like that either.
Really?
But it's like your kid doesn't get treated any different than mine.
Mm.
Everybody gets treated the same.
Right.
If you're already having sex, don't fucking play with me with that shit. You're not innocent anymore.
Right. Damn. Okay.
Do you get what I'm saying?
No, I feel it. Yeah.
So I feel like that could have probably been a little bit, but still, you gotta.
I mean, it's got to be kind of weird when your new baby mama / wife is somewhat threatening or intimidating. Which
No,
I get the idea that people feel that way about
No,
you.
he likes me.
Oh, okay.
If I text him, he'll text me back. Like I'm the one that says, "Hey, happy birthday." I am the one, and he'll respond to me.
Mm.
But to his dad, he won't.
Damn. We got to get that together. Let me know if Eyekon's son would like to come on here and do some Maury shit. We're going to get you guys back on the same page.
Hey, that would be cool.
I feel like No Jumper is built for that. We need to do that every week. We got to bring families back
You're
together.
not down.
I'm so down.
Yeah?
Yeah, that would be great.
I feel like it'd be so dramatic.
Yeah.
Well, you like the drama
I'm here
shit
for that.
going.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that
you're
sounds
right.
great.
Yeah.
Okay, so at what point do you get into podcasting? Was it his idea or
It
you
was
figured
his idea.
Okay.
It was his idea. It was July is going to be 3 years already.
Okay.
In July will be 3 years. He was just like, hey, we need to do something with you. And I'm like, well, he said, we're going to interview you. We're going to get the prison closed. We're going to talk about your story.
Oh, wow.
And we're going to call it Indicted. And we make the page right then and then.
And you had never thought about this before?
And never in my life.
Wow.
And I did it and it just worked out.
It worked.
It worked out. Thank God.
It is kind of a rare space to be in. There's like very few women out there that really have like that much of a prison history. So it's like in theory,
Well, there is a lot of women that have prison histories, but they're uncomfortable and their husbands probably don't allow them to be their fully selves.
Right. Definitely. Has that ever been an issue with you where there's anything that he doesn't really care for you talking about on the podcast?
Not necessarily. He
not
lets
really
me be
trying to-
myself.
That's good. Okay, so you get into it and you just immediately start interviewing like what, just everybody you know or everybody that you have a connection to?
Him. He was like, we're going to interview this person. We're going to get this person. The first person was my friend. Her name is Racina. I was busted with her. I met her in the feds. We did our whole time together. She was a bank robber. And I interviewed her and it went well.
Uh-huh.
And the next person, I don't really remember who it was, but I just kept doing it every Sunday.
The plan was never like me and you doing podcasts together. It was like, no, we're going to create a show for you.
Yeah.
Okay. So you guys haven't really interviewed anybody together?
Well, on Eyekon TV we have, or like the Color
okay.
Brown podcast. Yeah. Because I have the Color Brown podcast that it's for people that I want to interview that don't have prison experiences.
Okay.
Just so I could sit down with them.
Because some people don't want to be on a podcast called Indicted. If they've
Well, you're
never
not
been in
allowed to be
trouble.
on. A lot of people want to be on Indicted, but you can't because you don't have a prison experience.
So you need to have been indicted federally?
No.
You can have state charges as well?
No. So basically, I interview anybody that has prison experience. Could be a lieutenant, prisoners, prison wives, anybody that has a prison experience.
Okay.
Except people that have sexual crimes, people that have debriefed, meaning they go from an general population to a PC yard.
Really?
I don't interview them.
Even that's over the line with you. You can't do that.
No.
Because there's a lot of like pretty famous dropout YouTubers in the whole Rasa scene now.
I mean, I just won't, because I don't think it's okay that you're able to sit next to somebody. Like, what if you bring somebody to visit and he's a rapist and he's looking at your daughter?
Right.
What are you going to do?
No, for sure. That's a weird situation. But okay, like
everybody to their own shit. But me personally, that's none of that. And that's just what it is.
But okay, there's a lot of conversations about dropouts in general. So to be a dropout, that means basically you had to roll it up while you were in prison.
Yes.
But from your perspective, you were doing all this gangster shit, and then you get out, you do your time, and then you say at a certain point, like, hey, I'm still with you. I fuck with my neighborhood. I fuck with all these people, but I'm not trying to really be a part of this in any kind of criminal way.
Yeah, because I'm a girl.
That's
First
cool.
of all, I'm a grown woman now.
But even then, I mean, like, I assume Eyekon's from somewhere and that his life is very different than when he was 20, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And that's okay. But it's more when you decide that you're going to drop out while you're locked up because you don't like the consequences of this
Your
lifestyle.
choices. Most of the time, I'm not going to say, I can't speak for everybody, but I feel like if you're there, obviously I'm not in men's prison. I've never been in men's prison. I'm not going to be in men's prison. I'm a female, right? I don't know. I've never been in one. So all I could speak on of whatever, you hear, so I feel if you are in there and you're doing drugs and you can't pay, so you decide to snitch and roll it up.
Oh, that's why some people.
There's a lot of people that roll it up for that reason.
Wow, that's very pathetic.
Then come on, fool. You got no respect. You get no respect.
Yeah.
Respectfully.
Right.
You can't even deal with that. You can't even get your life together in there. You want to fucking come out and think like, no, it's not okay.
Right. But you like, I guess like we think of the Hispanic community as having a bit higher standards, rules, and regulations in place in terms of like what is allowed to be discussed or talked about on camera. I noticed when I watched you driving around your neighborhood with my boy Johnny Mitchell, a lot of stuff was bleeped out. You're like talking about, oh, this person used to be around here and they did this, this, and this. And then like you like bleep the name out because I assume you had second thoughts about like, I don't want to necessarily put these people out there like that. Is that a concern for you? Does that come into play?
I don't want to make them feel bad.
Right. But
not that it's going to be anything bad towards me. I don't want to make them feel bad.
Right.
Basically.
Right. But has there been other times where you do a podcast with somebody and then at some point you realize like, oh, this person's in bad standing, or we talked about a little too much, gave a little too much game away?
No. Because I'm not dumb.
Okay.
You got to learn how to, you have to know how to speak. You have to know what's going to come out of your mouth.
Right.
You can't go and sit there and think you're just going to, you're going to ask me a question and I'm not going to sit back and be like, actually sit and think about what you asked me and what's going to come out of my mouth. Okay. Because I'm not trying to endanger myself.
Right.
Or you.
But I'll give you an example is that it feels like we on this podcast have talked about the Money Side Suede situation. I don't really see any of the Hispanic podcasters out here really dying to talk about that shit on camera. Because
it doesn't belong to us.
Right. It's a little too
It's
serious.
Not for us to speak about, especially because like even like here, like we shouldn't be speaking about it because it doesn't belong to us.
Right.
He's not here. Who knows why,
But us outside of your race, we could talk about if somebody makes a YouTube video talking about it, we can talk about what they talked about.
I mean,
maybe it's kind of ugly, but
I feel maybe you guys shouldn't, but you guys don't give a because you not part of it. So you think about it like you justify it as like, well, hey, this is what we do.
But I'm saying like with Black people or, in hip hop in general, that kind of stuff is not really it's not outside the realm of possibility. Every day on Clubhouse, WAC 100 is talking about something that if he were Mexican and the people he was talking about were Mexican, would probably go over a lot different. Now, obviously, plenty of people have issues with Wack anyway for what he's willing to talk about online, but just definitely feels like way different standards. And it seems like that probably is something where it comes up a bit.
Yeah.
When you're writing your questions for an interview, you're probably thinking, I'm not going to ask about that.
Well, no, I don't even have, I just ask basically the same thing and I let them talk. And prior to me sitting down with them, they already know that we're not going to talk about politics because politics have nothing to do with your prison experience. Yes, it does, but that's not the lane. That's not my lane. I'm not a man and I'm not in prison. So politics only are for men in prison. That men out here try to use it to their advantage.
Right.
But why bring somebody from inside? Why bother the men that are already doing life in prison with fucking lame ass rapper, fucking podcast, lame podcast bullshit?
Like,
right or wrong?
I'll give you an example. I have to interview 4 extras later today.
He's a
big old rolling 40 Crip.
Okay. He just got out, right?
Just got out again. Yeah.
Yes.
Loves to fight. Allegedly, he knocked somebody out from an op hood and then put a carrot up their butt. Not because
he literally put a carrot up his butt.
Not his own butt, but up his op's butt, allegedly. Now, I'm going to ask him about that today. I already know.
So excited to ask about that.
Very excited. Some people are even calling him 4 Carat. 4 extras is over. 4 Carat. It might be the new name.
Honestly,
I don't know.
that's disgusting to me. And I feel like
my girl had the same response. My girl's like, I don't know why you think that I'm going to laugh at the idea of somebody getting a carrot put up their butt while they're unconscious in prison.
I feel that's more of a, you got an ego. You got too much pride for your own self. You like, it's dark and nasty.
Yeah. Like, even if you have the ability to put a carrot up somebody's ass after you knock them out.
That's like gross mental shit.
Shouldn't we have some decorum, some kind of standards?
Yeah, it's like mental, like, that's just like.
It's like a level of hatred that is almost unfamiliar to me.
It's dark and evil.
Yeah. I feel like that would not fly with the rasa. No carrots.
No carrots.
And then.
I mean, to a chomo, stuff that fool up.
You might put a whole bag of carrots in there.
Stuff that fool up, but don't let him die. Let that fool feel that shit.
The really embarrassing moment as the person who got carroted has got to be when you shit out the carrot. You look down and you just remember what happened to you.
Hi, Adam, shut up.
No, apparently there was pickle retaliation. Not to him, but to someone else. Somebody got their get back on somebody else, and they put. So
these foods are just some fruity ass foods. This is at this point.
See, I don't think that they're fruity in any meaningful sense. I think they just are putting.
Yeah, but they already put shit up their ass, so they probably don't even feel that shit. Remember, they're stuffing all these things.
That's a good point. Yeah.
Yeah, you know.
But there's also county jail. I don't think there's a lot of keystering going on.
No, county's just crazy.
It is.
I feel like county for men is even crazier than prison.
Really.
Anyway, we wouldn't know.
I was saying all that just to say that I know I'm gonna talk to him about that today, and I already know that like the way for Extras is that he's probably not going to say anything about where the person was from or who exactly it was. But it does feel kind of weird.
It's like too much. Like, just f that fool up. Like, you know.
Yeah.
It's like gross. It's like nasty.
But it's becoming more and more common. Okay, because we heard about R.I.C.O Reckless saying like years ago, 3-4 years ago, R.I.C.O Reckless said that in Chicago, you knock somebody out, you pull their pants down, you spread their asshole open, you spit in their butt.
Oh my God.
And then now we're at the level where there's peanut butter, carrots, pickles. We in everybody. Like people getting knocked out and they make a whole cornucopia out of their booty hole.
And that makes them feel good. I think that's just like the prideful, like I said, the prideful ego, darkness, evil of the person that's already like taking over his lighter side.
To me, that's an argument for OGs.
Like that's just
we need
disgusting.
older, more reasonable people in the room to stop penetrating people with vegetables and other foods.
Yeah.
Somebody's got to stop this.
Yeah.
It's a war. There's a war going on outside.
No, there's always wars, but a carrot?
A vegetable war? Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I'm gonna say all of this to him later today. So it's not anything that I'm not gonna say to him.
Oh God, that is terrible. Honestly, I feel like only people that have hurt your mother, daughters
can get the carrot.
Yeah, bro.
Yeah.
Shit can't be that serious. F that fool up and that's it.
No, I agree, yeah. But even
Doesn't make you look any better.
If this person really like hurt my loved one, I still feel like, you know, beating the dog shit out of them is well within the realm of things I'm going to do. But like, I can't, like,
That's what I'm saying.
it's still not
Like,
really,
food doesn't make you look any better. If anything, makes you look whack as
it really seems like something that could easily like just take this to another level also. Like you knock me out. Cool. Like we're ops. We hate each other. You knock me out. Cool. I can respect it. This is fair. It's all fair in love and war. The carrot in the ass is like, no, I'm trying to smear your reputation for all time. Like you can never be respected again. That's at least seems like the intention, even if it doesn't work out that way.
I feel like that fool that got it in the ass probably will still be respected.
Yeah, maybe.
Because if he would have done that shit, like if he was knocked out, then that's different. But that fool was down already, man. You're going to kick the man when he's already, you're going to stuff him when he's already down?
But then if they get their get back and they use a pickle, then it's like, you're no better than me. So you can't really even judge me for the carrot thing.
Fruity ass fools.
Yeah. Okay. So were you consulted before Eyekon left the Foo Community? Because he obviously, for people who don't know, Foo Community, very popular Instagram account out around here. At one point, Eyekon gets hired, develops a business relationship with the owners where he starts doing podcasts for the Foo Community. I even appear on one. And then they have a disagreement of some sort, maybe a year ago. And Eyekon decides that he wants to leave the Foo Community and start doing his own content. Were you consulted about this pretty big decision?
Well, I'm the one that when he brought it to my attention, I'm like, you should. You've been in this industry for how many years? And you've never had problems with any of your work colleagues ever unless you could just call, hey, this is that. It's basically just for videos. You know, you didn't get your video on time. So what? Fools already know that. But when you have other people that you know, hey, why is this for this? Why is this you putting this up? That shit gets annoying. Yeah. It gets like, we're going to catch you when we're in the streets because of what this fool posted. That's not cool. And the guy doesn't care about your family's well-being. That's not cool. You don't need to be in that situation.
It's wild because this is almost exactly the same situation that happened with Duno and No Jumper, where at one point we had a post up. Certain person from his world didn't appreciate it, and it kind of got to Duno that like, oh, somebody might do something to you because you're associated with No Jumper. And it was a very weird decision for us to make because I felt like the post was newsworthy and it was fair for it to be up. But then you're also just dealing with the reality of like, oh, like somebody that you
like these people are really in the streets. These people are really outside. I mean, really do know all these people. Right. And they're asking you, hey, put the video down. I'm not in charge of the fucking Instagram. I only run the podcast.
Was there anything in particular that he got into it over with? Like,
they never really got into it. Oh, okay. They never went back and forth.
It wasn't like a huge explosive instance.
It was never.
He felt just, like it was kind of coming.
It was just more like, you know what? I'm not going to do this anymore. I can't deal with. I don't want. I can't. I don't want to deal with all the bullshit that comes with it because it's bringing stress to the house. Because now I'm pissed. Right. When the wife is mad at home, shit, the house is not calm. Right. Damn. And when you have this all the time and this fool's just not giving a fuck, fuck this shit. Not fuck him, just fuck this shit, baby. You don't need that. This whole year it was so stressful. You've been in this industry for so long. Everything's been smooth till you started doing this.
Yeah. And I mean, it's really like he used up the Foo Community to build his own name, to get himself into the podcast space. And then he felt like he could just dip off and do his own thing and that everything would be fine.
I wouldn't necessarily say that.
I mean, he should, at least you tell me your opinion, but he does owe a bit of a debt to them because they got him into the game, right? Like they kind of showed him.
No,
they
used him to have that face. Why would they choose him if he didn't have a name?
But you feel like Eyekon's name was bigger than the Foo Community's name?
I don't even think it's Mountain Bakers. We have the same fucking numbers. I mean, did he have more followers? Yes, of course. Right. But it's not about you. They used each other. Right. You work together. It's not about using. It's about, hey, we're going to be a team because I know you have this and I know you have this. So we're going to be together. But if one is gaining a lot more than the other, it's just not working. We're adults. We ain't in fucking 20s, baby. We got to keep it going. Right. We got to go. Okay. You get what I'm saying?
But was it a pretty smooth thing to start doing his own content? It was no big deal.
Well, we didn't have to do anything different. It was our spot.
Yeah, because it was already his apartment, right?
It was
or
no,
not apartment, like an office.
We have our own studio.
Right.
The
one downtown still, or did they move?
We're somewhere completely away, like somewhere else, like nowhere. Like it's our. That's where I do Indicted. That's where it's basically it's been ours. Like the person never, not one time, paid for anything.
Really?
Yeah. So people are like, oh, you should change the tape. You should move the shit around. It's still Foo Community. No, why would you? This is our money that we spend to get this.
See, that's the weird thing about this day and age. Is like, think about this situation if it was in the 90s and Eyekon had a job at a radio station and he's doing content for the radio station. And then at some point he gets into a disagreement with the radio station and they say, fuck you, you're fired. Well, you really are kind of fucked in that situation because you can't just start your own thing. But now with YouTube and everything, it's like, especially when it's your spot, they're not even providing like the studio and everything like that. It's kind of I've always told them, like, you have your own YouTube channel, right?
Just work off of your YouTube channel. You know all of these people. Right. Sometimes it's not about the followers you have on Instagram, it's who you know.
Yeah,
behind the scenes. And he knows a lot of people behind the scenes.
And the thing on YouTube is that it's like, you know, you could have we have almost 5 million subscribers. I know plenty of channels that have 100,000 subscribers or even less. And it's like, if they get a great interview, it does not really matter that much that we have a shitload of subscribers. Like if you get, the guy who gets, weird example, because obviously I'm sure you probably feel a way about it, but SPM, when he gets out, let's say he goes and does an interview with some fucking channel with 1,000 subscribers.
He's gonna go freaking big.
They're gonna get a million views, a couple million views. He could do the same interview on No Jumper. Maybe it gets a million views faster. Maybe in the long run, it does get more views, but it's like ultimately, even a brand new channel, the way YouTube is, it's just, they're going to surface things people are interested in. It doesn't really matter that much.
So I always tell them, like, grow yourself, baby. You work so hard. You are such a hardworking man. Grow you. Stop trying to grow other people.
All right. So then the situation happens where basically Prime, I think his name is, one of the dudes from the Foo Community, they started their own podcast. They say,
well, literally right away they started, and he was like, the real LA has it now. So it's like, you guys are supposed to be friends. You're supposed to be friends, and you're throwing all these jabs.
Right.
But when we call you, it's not like, and I say we because I'm always like on the phone with him.
So before this episode that they did, you guys had been in communication and you thought it was all good?
Yes.
Really?
Complete 100%. 100%, except him just throwing these jabs.
So then they start doing a podcast, and you know, number one way to get attention in your podcast is to get a banging clip, and he basically decided that was the way to do it.
Well, he knew it wasn't going to work unless he showed his face, because remember, the guy didn't show his face whatsoever.
Really? Okay, because I hadn't seen him, but I wasn't sure of that.
Yeah. Okay. Until recent.
Okay. And so for those who don't know, they decided to basically weaponize the fact that you apparently at some point spent time with Baldacci back in the day.
He was my prison boyfriend.
Ooh, that's interesting.
He was my prison boyfriend for 5 years.
Really?
We wrote letters to each other.
So he's on the outside, or?
No, we're both inside.
Oh, and you were just writing back and forth.
He was my boyfriend for 5 years, writing back and forth, letters and emails and three-ways with his mom. Shout out to his mom. She's always, Sally, she's always been there for me, my whole incarceration.
And was he like very well known at this time? Or was
he was already rapping.
Okay.
Yeah, he was rapping already.
Okay. And so what then, but you guys didn't really spend time with each other like?
In real life, no.
Really? So you didn't spend time with each other before prison, and then you didn't spend time with each other after prison?
I only seen him one time.
Okay.
In real life, after I got out.
Why was that? Like you built this bond while you guys were locked up, but then once you got out, you just didn't really care anymore?
I had to live my life. I was on probation. I wasn't going to come here. He was here doing his shit. You know, he was doing his rapping. Whatever it is he was doing, you know, like, it's just this is what it was. We did have this huge bond, and that's all. But the allegation they made in that podcast was that you slept with him, and that's what. Well, that's what they had to say. Of course. Okay. That was going to blow it up. Okay. But they don't know what reality is. Reality is. You never slept with him? One time. I saw him one time. Yeah. Okay. After 5 years of, you know, like even longer than that. But that's not here nor there. Like. But I feel like that's something that happens a lot with the whole prison world, is that people will like have somebody that they're kind of communicating with on the outside, and then they get out and it just doesn't turn into anything serious. Yeah. We just never care to turn it into, or like, you know what I'm saying? Like,
do you totally disagree with the narrative that Eyekon was like using that as a reason to sort of blacklist certain people, or that he was really salty about that?
Well, no, I think it's stupid for them to say. I feel like it's dumb because he's filmed a music video for him while him and I together.
And I saw they gave him a 8.5 for lyrics,
and he put him on his rap list.
Doesn't really seem like something that you would do if you really hated the guy that much.
That he wasn't part of our lives. I didn't even know my husband then. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, what are you like? For example, are you not going to talk to, like, do you want? Not even want, but like, for example, this is a perfect example. People always ask, "Oh, you should get Baldacci on Indicted. Why don't you get up for years?" No, not because of my husband. He doesn't. I'm sure he would be like, yeah, but I have respect enough for my husband to not sit there with, like, it's not okay for me. I respect my husband enough not to sit there with my ex-boyfriend, who we had a deep relationship on paper. And it was, you know, like, it's called respect. And if you guys don't understand what respect is, then your opinion doesn't really matter in life.
Yeah, no, for sure. I mean, you're in a relationship. You got to come to some kind of
And I'm sure my husband wouldn't even care, but I care.
I mean, I feel like a part of it too is that, like, when it comes to young people, the idea of your boyfriend or girlfriend having slept with somebody you know seems like very hard to deal with. But then all of a sudden you're 40, and it's like, if you're going to be dating another 40-year-old, and especially if you're in the same relatively small scene, musically, culturally, whatever, I mean, the odds of that person not having slept with somebody that you know is like, ridiculously small.
Yeah, like, bro, get it together. You know damn well whoever you're with has been with somebody else.
Right.
But I mean, he was my prison boyfriend. These fools are like making it seem like, oh my God, you said some fucking crazy shit. I was like, damn, that was it?
Right.
That was it.
Yeah.
That was the only way that they were able to make him, or not even make him, but just cause fucking drama.
I blame Pusha T for all this, because it's like there used to be an age in which like people would just like rap battle, or like, you know, podcast battle, I guess, whatever. I don't actually blame Pusha T, but like then like Pusha T reveals that Drake has a secret kid, and it's like, oh my God, by far he just won this goddamn battle. And it's like, clearly that's kind of what they were going for with you, is like, oh, if we reveal something new that the world doesn't know about, that's going to feel like a giant W.
Yeah, like, bro, if anything, I should have made us even closer. The best part about it is like we didn't argue, we didn't fight about the situation. You know, we both know, you and I, those men, or any man, let's be real, any man that are in that situation, they're going to fucking fight with their wife. Oh, wait, it's because of you, because you that fool. Come on.
I mean, if you guys been together for 10 years, I'm sure that you've had conversations over the years about who you slept with and who you didn't sleep with.
It's just like, it's done. We're fucking grown.
Yeah.
Like, these fools thought they did something. Right. No, you made me stronger.
Right.
No secrets now.
For sure. No, I mean, yeah, I like, because
I mean, it wasn't a secret, but I mean,
I said on the podcast that I thought it was kind of lame to weaponize somebody who was basically an innocent participant in all this against them. And then I got hit up on the gram basically being like, nah, we exposed it because we needed to be able to explain how Eyekon was really hating on.
That was the only way they were able to.
Right. That's the only way to make it seem virtuous.
Because they know damn well it wasn't like that. That was their only little way for their little vendetta they had.
Damn.
It's fucking sad.
It's a grimy game.
It's not grimy, bro. It's the humans that are grimy. The game is good if you play it right.
Right. I mean, it's just, I guess part of why it seems so crazy too is because the Hispanic podcast scene in LA is relatively like new in terms of really gaining traction. And I feel like it kind of gives voice to the actual culture in a way that is like, you know, more of like a real representation of what Mexican people are actually like than we maybe have seen before. And so then it's kind of weird to see it also take on this like a soap opera type element.
Like, yo, me and my husband were like, we were viral as I told my husband, I was like, dang, Adam knows how to really fucking handle himself, because this will be putting himself through shit.
Yeah, you gotta really not give a fuck.
Yeah. I mean, we don't really give a fuck, but I'm not this person. Like, I am not this influencer. Like,
you didn't know you were signing up for all this when you started.
I didn't give a. It's not that I didn't know I was signing up for. I just never experienced it, and now I have, and I was viral as. And thank you so much.
But was it actually painful dealing with it, or did you actually have a positive outlook on it? Like, did the positive press outweigh the fact that you also had people making jokes out of it and commenting, laughing emojis and whatnot?
Yeah, that was, I can't say I wasn't down for one day. One day I was like, I'm really fucked up over this shit right now because of all the comments and not even because what they say was just fucking lame as fuck. That shit is nothing but just like reading the comments and just the people, like all the comments, and I was like, I was down. I really was on my couch all day, like, oh shit. Then the next day I was like, nah, bitch, you better get the fuck up. Fuck these fools. Yeah, respectfully, really. But
No, totally. I mean, yeah. At the end of the day, it's like, the longer you're in the game, the more that you're going to have to deal with people exposing things that you really don't want the world to know, and or that are not true. That shit sucks.
Yeah.
Having somebody expose something that really ultimately is like the most normal human behavior, it's like it can't really sting that much.
No, it was just the fact that it was just like
having anything weaponized against you like is kind of a weird feeling. Oh, like you want to hurt me that bad that you're gonna trot out this shit? Okay, that's just a weird feeling. Like,
you want to hurt me and my family? Mama Bear don't like that shit. Moms don't. Moms are the protectors,
right?
Yeah. Fathers are the providers, but moms are the protectors. I don't give a fuck what anybody says.
Right.
I'm sure once your wife is pissed, there's no stopping her.
Yeah, that's definitely
And you know what? My husband didn't even want me to do the video.
Oh, really? Responding to it?
Oh, not at all. But really? I told him, you're either going to record me or I'm going to do it on Instagram and we ain't going to get paid. So what do you want to do?
There you go. These bills got to get paid, Eyekon. Sorry. He came into the room right as we started having the conversation about him here. He's like got like a Suge Knight style presence in the corner of the room.
Look at him right there.
I'm just going to sit here and make sure everybody knows not to play with me. Did you have to stop him? Was he ready to go spin?
Nah. He laughed. He literally laughed.
So there was not a moment where you had to like take the gun out of his hand and be like, no, it's not worth it.
Nah. Yeah, take it out of mine. Nah, Nah. I mean, of course we were pissed.
Right.
It's only normal. We're human. Like, we have feelings and we feel. But yeah, man.
Did you have any complaints about how Baldacci handled it? Because I noticed he like put something on a story, but it wasn't explicit. It was more just like, don't ask me about shit or
don't kiss and tell.
Yeah.
Obviously, he's gonna fucking get what for the views as well. It's what people do.
But saying that is like pretty respectable compared to,
but he also
it would have been easy to say something that would actually be rude. Right?
Yeah, exactly. But he also did a post and it said, if you don't DM me asking me things about Negra, I'm not going to answer any questions. I respect her and her family and I wish her well.
Oh, that's dope. Yeah.
He doesn't. We live, we're living separate lives. Like, he was my prison boyfriend. I've been out since 2012. How many years is that?
No, for sure. I mean, I feel like it is weird though, because sometimes like, okay, I'm obviously more open-minded about my wife doing whatever
but for work only.
For sure. But I'm just picturing a scenario where if I was at the mall with her, and I have never had this happen with her, but I've had it happen with other girlfriends in the past where you're like hanging out with them, you run into a dude with them and either you just peep the scenario and you're just like, oh, you used to fuck that guy. Or I've had the situation where the girl actually just tells you like, yeah, I used to fuck this fool like back in the day or whatever. And as a guy, yeah, that's kind of like a weird feeling. It's like, it's one thing if you know about it, you like in my case, you like officiate it, you decide that this is okay or whatever. It's kind of another thing when you just realize like, oh, I just came face to face with somebody that beat my bitch's doonies down. Like, that's a crazy feeling.
I mean, I don't know.
Right.
I ran into his ex-girlfriend.
Right.
I mean,
doesn't bother you?
I've smoked with this baby's mom.
But you're a gangster.
Like we're adults. It's only that's kid shit.
I agree.
Or if you're super insecure and you're one of those controlling macho, don't look up type of husband.
Yeah, there's a lot of that.
And if you're
especially in the rap world.
And if you're that type of man, then I feel sorry for your wives.
Sometimes I'm around, I'm around rappers, and there's a girl, and I can tell it's their girl, and I just peep the vibe of like
super abusive.
They don't even want me to say hi to her. I'm just not even going to say a word to her because
super abusive.
They've got her in their own little box here,
which is super sad when a woman is not able to be herself.
But like the dynamic where you walk into the studio and you say hi to every single person except the girls, because in rap, a lot of times the girls really feel like second-class citizens. They're like, you just don't want to get involved with like whatever kind of weird relationship stuff people got.
I'm like I walk into the studio, I'm like, hey, what's up, guys?
Yeah, I feel like I usually say hi to the girls,
like that.
But
hi, girls.
Sometimes I can see it in their eyes, like, oh, she's being trafficked or some shit. I don't want to say hi to her. Oh. She got some trauma going on.
That sucks, huh?
Yeah, whatever they got going on, it's not my business.
I don't like it.
Not literally trafficked, but
I don't like it.
Just a weird coercive vibe.
I will. You know what's I'm so bad that I will go out of my way. If I send something, it's bad. It's probably the mom in me.
Right. You'll call the local authorities.
No, no, definitely not. Because obviously she wants to be in there, right?
Well, not always. Sex trafficking happens all the time.
You could get the fuck up and leave.
Well, unless somebody's going to kill you if you leave, or they control you financially or whatever.
Kill me.
Listen,
if you're already selling your fucking ass, might as well sell your ass and get money and get the fuck out of there.
Okay, I'm watching the video with one of the girls who was on Tay-K's murder case. Just did a Vlad interview, and she, from like a super young age, basically like had a girl come into her life who was older. She's like 18, and the girl's like 12, 13 or some shit, and she's basically like kind of like bringing her to strip clubs, bringing her to parties, getting her into drugs. At some point, she like sells her to another dude who's basically like prostituting her out and shit like that. So then by the time and it has occurred to me, some of this could be bullshit, because if you were trying to get off of a murder case, I guess you would make up this kind of thing. But it happens to people all the time, I'm sure. And it's super upsetting. And just like listening to her, like this is one of the only interviews I've seen in recent memory that really made me feel something of like, holy this girl had a terrible life.
Yeah, well, but there is situations that girls are like that. But you get to a certain age, well, bitch, you know what the fuck you do.
Yeah, largely.
You either like it or you don't.
But see, that was part of the problem, is that then the cops, the fucking the judge and shit is even saying like, we think that you liked being trafficked. We think you liked
because that's all she knew at first, and she doesn't know how to change.
Yeah,
I mean, really, it's mental.
But even then, she tells the dad, her dad says, oh, that's a fucked up accusation to put on somebody unless you have proof. What fucking proof are you going to have? I mean, that's just like, it's so hard for me to imagine a dad having that attitude.
So imagine the things she's gone through.
Yeah, fucked up. Super fucked up.
Yeah.
She ended up getting a 10-year probation deal, which is pretty good. They were trying to give her fucking life. Just for being, she didn't pull the trigger or anything. She was just like around.
But you have to always remember that in court, they always tell you the worst. Yeah. But you're not always going to get the worst.
But that's the thing that was crazy to me. And obviously we're just talking about somebody else's interview now, but like she had 10 years probation on the table. Then Tay-K writes the song about the murder. Then he catches another murder. Then it goes super viral. It becomes like the biggest thing in the country. They take that off the table. They're trying to give her life for 20 years or whatever, which is pretty.
Because you knew. Yeah. You know what the fuck is happening.
Yeah. Insane.
And if you know what is happening.
So, okay. Where are you at in your career right now? Are you still super motivated with the podcast and everything?
I love doing Indected TV. Everybody go follow Indected TV. I enjoy it. I feel like it's super therapeutic. I feel like I help a lot of people as far as like, helping them get exposure with their business, or I've helped people get like clean recovery. You message me. I have so many people telling me, hey, because of you, I don't use drugs. Because of you, I was able to overcome the situation I have with my son. Because of you, I could handle my family being in prison. Because of you, I could understand why things happen.
That's dope. It's a good feeling.
That's what I do it for. And I love it. Obviously, that's not what I started. I don't know why I started, but apparently this is my path and I'm on it. And I love it. It's super therapeutic. I enjoy it. I like it.
For sure.
And I'm not going to stop. I'm going to continue to do what I do. I feel like for me, people are like, oh, you want to be viral. I don't care about being viral because I'm here for the long run. Right. I want to do this as long as I could.
You have to have that mentality. I think that, yes, I want to do well. Yes, I want to make money, etc. But ultimately, like, I would do this regardless of if I was getting paid. So that is going to keep me going even when it doesn't feel like
because obviously when I started, I didn't get paid.
Right.
You know, it's the not giving up part. And after you realize that, you know, not giving up is helping you financially, mentally, and everything. It's like, of course, you're going to want to do it even more. Like, I don't got to go to work. That's my job. I go 2 hours out of the week. If I want to do more interviews, I do more interviews, but I only release one a week.
Right.
And I go live on Wednesdays, but.
Definitely. Does it ever feel kind of overwhelming that the podcast space every month that goes by, it feels like it's a little bit more flooded? Because, you know, you started 3 years ago, it probably felt like there was way less people doing similar content. And now when there's a hot new Hispanic artist from LA, it's like, you know, you might not get them first. You might have their fourth interview or whatever. And it's like, that's got to be kind of, so it's a lot more competitive than it used to be. I don't
look at it that way because no one is me. Like no one is me. I don't care what everybody has. There's enough money in this world for everybody.
Right.
I mean, and because obviously like I'm going to interview people that other people are not going to interview because certain people only interview people when they're popping.
True.
And I help people pop.
There it is. Have you ever had issues with feeling, because as a woman, and I feel like you give off very much like a vibe, like you are not taking shit and you're, you know, someone who treats themselves with respect and you want respect from other people. Do you ever run into a situation where you feel like the artist or the person is maybe not reciprocating in the way that you would expect? Is that ever complicated?
I've never really had that experience. I feel because once they sit on that chair, if I feel that energy, I'll say, once you sit in this chair, your followers, your money, none of that matters. Because you obviously had to be with nothing in order to be sitting in this chair.
Right.
So everybody kind of like, everybody starts off, and eventually everybody like becomes themselves.
Right. Definitely.
Because that's what I want to do. I want to make you feel comfortable while you're sharing your experience, you know, that you're got abused or you watched your mom get killed. That's the kind of shit I do.
Right.
And there's no need to be hard and, you know, be yourself. Be humble. Not even humble, but be your self. I don't give a how many followers or your money you have because that's your shit, not mine.
For sure. As a former meth user, how does it feel seeing Lefty Gunplay have like meth oriented freakouts on a seemingly weekly basis?
It makes me feel super sad.
Really?
Because obviously, you know, I was the first person to ever interview him.
I think I've seen that. I think before I interviewed him, I think I watched that. Yeah.
I was the first person to ever interview him, and he wasn't that same person that he is now.
Because he was sort of fresh out at the time. So
he was still using.
Okay.
But obviously, the more money you have, the more you smoke. And the more you smoke, the worse your brain gets.
Right.
And now you're just like talking and you're just hearing shit and you're just like not caring. And it's not that you don't care, but you can't fucking kick it because you don't want to.
Like,
you're afraid.
He's somebody I've only been around one time in real life, but I feel like I've seen so many interviews, so many different social media things, et cetera, that I feel like I can tell by looking at him and the way he acts, like whether he's loaded or not, or whether he's like very fucked up or like a little bit fucked up. And it's just kind of crazy because you just see a lot of erratic behavior going viral. Like even the shorty clip from last night, he's going on stage with another rapper who he has a good relationship with. They've done interviews together and everything like that. And he's just like blatantly like not able to peep what's going on. And the fact that
because he is not himself and the people that use him are not good people.
Really?
Yes. How are you going to fucking put somebody out there and always like use the worst moments? And everybody does that shit.
Yeah.
Uses the worst moments for their views. That's only going to get you fucking $100. Fucking. It's sad.
Yeah.
Instead of being like, hey, nah, if he's high, I don't want to have him on.
Right. I mean, with us, we're just posting about him, trying to make him look bad just because we got beef with him. We're not even getting any money.
But you don't even really got beef.
No.
If you had beef, you probably wouldn't even talk about him.
It's not like I want to kill him or anything.
That's what I. So when people say
fuck his career over.
I mean, he's doing it to himself, so you don't need to do that.
Right. I just want to help him out along
because
the way.
you're just being ugly-hearted to yourself.
Because there will be a version of Lefty Gunplay that is humbled at a certain point. I'm just trying to help him get there.
You don't need to. Because at the end of the day, that's just ugly hearts. That's just the way I feel. That's the way I think. You know, an ugly heart shows. I guess, and you will always pay back. And if you don't pay back, your babies are going to pay back for the ugliness in your heart.
Right. I feel like I can compartmentalize. I feel like I can have this quiet war with Lefty, and then it won't affect my.
But it's not quiet.
Inner peace. Well,
because you really don't give a fuck. You're just being a dick.
But you know what it is? I do, because when I met him, I liked him so much, and I really wanted to like be a part of his career and help him and stuff. And then he basically decided to hate on me and shit on me.
But you have to
remember. Ever since, he broke my heart. So I'm going to make you pay via social media.
You allowed him to break your heart because you know that that's really not him. His energy is so light. You know him. I mean, you've met him. You've been around him. His energy is so light. There's nothing not to like about him besides his addiction. And his addiction is what's, like you're saying, like it's really not him.
But I also feel like even outside of the addiction that he's kind of a retard. Like, I feel like he probably would, even if he was sober, be making a lot of bad decisions.
Yeah, but we don't know that, so you know what I'm saying?
I can assume. But yeah.
Yeah, all we could do is assume.
Would you sign an artist?
Nah.
You're over that?
I don't. Cool. I never really, that's not my thing.
Right.
Plus, I don't got the patience. I don't have the patience. I'm a mom 24/7.
But I seen you had a couple of chicks with you.
Those are my girls. I love them.
Just your homegirls?
No. So Bree, it's been in my husband's, like they've dealt with each other for many, many years, because she obviously used to have her own like video, like modeling agency. So we would always hire girls through her.
Okay.
This is when she was like barely like 16 years old.
So she got the hose.
She got the hose.
So I should know her.
Bree's dope as fuck. She raps. She has a dope voice, deep, and she's a beautiful young lady. She's 23 years old.
Oh, wow.
She has like 3 businesses on her own. She goes to school full time. She's a good girl.
Shout out Bree.
Yeah, shout out Bree.
For sure. Okay, so anything else you got going on in your life we should know about?
No, I'm just being a mom. I'm living my best life. I'm a mom. I'm a wife, and I love doing Indicted. And I feel like that's what life is about.
Yeah, I mean, especially considering where you came from and all the bullshit you've been through, it's got to feel pretty good to come out the other side. I don't want to add more things to my plate. I don't want to. I feel, I just fucking don't. I mean, I started going to juvenile halls, to the camps, juvenile camps. I'm actually waiting to expunge my record so that I could go into Los Padrinos juvenile hall, because I'm able to go into the camps and just chill, like talk to the guys like a mentor. Really? I like that kind of shit. I'm all about helping and uplifting the young men. Do right when you get out. You know what I mean? It's just like, I'm sure you have a lot to offer them and stuff. I just wonder, like, it's got to be weird energy, because I'm sure they're looking at you having not been near a woman in a long time. It's got to be kind of awkward. Teenagers. Oh yeah, even I know. They're teenagers and they know me. Right. Already on YouTube. Oh, so already, usually it's not like, oh, I'm meeting you for the first time. Yeah. I mean, when I did, they were still like, they knew who I was, but that's not, I just have, I guess, a different kind of energy when it comes to meeting young men in the lifestyle. Because I've experienced the lifestyle, and I don't think people want to listen to a fucking person that's never lived in prison. No, totally. Yeah. What the fuck did they tell them? Get the fuck out my face. We took them shock of clothes. They have like a program, a carpenter program. No, plumbing, one of those. So they have their boots, they're learning, like gang of shit. You know what I'm saying? So I like that. I'm all about helping the youth. I have a nonprofit as well. Really? We already do we're going to be doing a backpack giveaways, back to school supplies in August. This is our 3rd year doing it. And we do a Christmas giveaway, toy giveaway. So do you just buy it from the store, or like, how do you get the best rate on the stuff that you're giving away? Because you have to be able to buy it wholesale. My husband, he does everything. We'll even go to stores and buy the toys and ourselves. That's what we do. We get everything by ourselves. That's dope. Hell yeah. Well, it was great to finally get to sit down. I feel like you were ducking this interview. I was asking to do this interview like a year ago.
I know, but I was like, you know what? When I wanted him to interview me in the beginning, he didn't want to because I wasn't cool enough.
Did you try early on?
Yeah.
Oh, really?
So I did it with Duno, remember?
Oh, okay.
So then I was like, you know what? No, I don't know. I mean, I think I was probably going through something mentally because, girls are always going through some shit.
Eyekon gatekeeping his wife is crazy. He needs to open up his mind.
Because he's a gatekeeper.
I mean, you guys, you manage each other, kind of. It feels like.
I feel like in a relationship, a marriage of 10 years, that's how it is. You know each other. We balance each other out.
Okay, but is it ever awkward that you guys are kind of doing the same thing? You have a podcast, he has a podcast. Is ever like, if it was me and my girl and we were fighting for the same rappers to interview, I feel like it could get a little tricky.
I don't interview rappers.
Oh yeah, you're right. Okay, yeah. He's a little bit. So he won't do just like a random criminal.
No.
He'll do more of the rappers and
he does boxing.
Got it. Yeah.
He does boxing. He does everything. Chefs, anybody that wants to share or whatever. I don't know.
You mentioned before that he's gained quite a bit of weight. Are you concerned at all?
No, he's healthy.
Okay.
We go to the doctor's fool.
Yeah.
Oh, he is a fucking doctor guy. He is. And
he's a doctor guy.
Every feeling, he knows. He's on it.
So he's the one who's mature and responsible and taking care of all this stuff, and you're just kind of going along with it?
I'm taking care of the house.
Okay.
Every idea he gets, I'm like, here we fucking go.
But he's got to tell you to go to the doctor?
Oh, no.
Okay.
What I mean is like, he goes, he does his blood work, he checks himself, like, he's okay.
Okay.
He does not miss any of his appointments.
Okay.
Yeah, he's on it.
Yeah, it's like, I feel like my wife, I'm trying to think of like what she would feel like if I gained 100 pounds, but it's like, it's tainted by the porn thing. Because it's like in porn, you probably just shouldn't gain 100 pounds. But
yeah,
it's like, I feel like if I was a normal guy, no, but she's so health oriented too that I feel like.
Because believe it or not, he doesn't eat bad.
Really? I
don't eat bad.
Maybe he sleep eats.
No. I don't know what it is, to be honest. Can he exercise? Yes. Does he walk? Yes.
Do you ever think about telling him like, hey?
No, I'm like,
go do a couple miles.
I do.
Oh, okay, cool.
Oh, I'm on his ass.
Can he tell you that?
Yeah.
Hey, get on the treadmill.
Yeah.
Oh, really?
We're supposed to tell each other. When I'm like, hey, you haven't walked, go on the fucking treadmill. I don't give a fuck what you got going on. Get off that fucking phone, go on the treadmill. At least 3 times a week.
Right.
Obviously, I'm the one that feeds him. We don't fucking eat bad.
I want to eat ice cream every night. If I tried, my girl would shut it down. She'd be like,
I don't eat ice cream.
At a certain point, she'd be like, this can't keep happening.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, hey, no pizza.
But then when I'm actually in the moment, we're at a barbecue the other day, it's like, realistically, she probably could have stopped me at like piece of pizza number 4. But once you're in the zone,
you got the munchies.
Having a good time, yeah.
Okay.
But she don't even smoke, so she don't even know what it's like to have munchies.
Yeah, I smoke. He doesn't do anything. He doesn't drink. He don't smoke. He don't do shit.
That's a problem. What, you don't trust yourself? Get f***ed up, Holmes.
Well, he used to. Remember, he used to be a crackhead.
Oh, right.
So, yeah.
I guess when you're coming from crackheadism, being fat's like whatever.
Homeless at 11 years old. Like, this guy doesn't need to prove anything to anybody when you already lived it at such a young age. They don't give a fuck what these fucking people gotta say.
That's real. I respect
but he did say that he paid our rent because we were gonna go homeless.
He said that about you and him.
The Foo Community. Sorry, I just had to say that. It was just like, yeah.
And that's not true.
No.
Oh.
I just got mad. Never mind.
We're
done. We're done, guys.
Debunk that shit. Debunk that.
Fuck these fools. We're done.
Negra, thank you very much for coming through.
No, thank
Appreciate
you for having me.
It was an honor.
Wait, when are you having another party? That shit was cracking, food.
Oh, you were at that, huh? That's a good question. My birthday's in November. So for my 40th birthday, I did the big crazy party. Cost a lot of money. And then 41st birthday, hung out with the family. Didn't even mention my birthday on Instagram or anything. So it was almost like nobody knew unless they somehow figured it out. And then, this year, 42. I don't know. I feel like a lot more comfortable with just hanging out with the family and not really doing anything rather than the whole big, crazy, let's celebrate me thing. I don't know. It doesn't feel like me.
I get it.
You know,
I've only had one party in my life, so
yeah. I feel like
last year.
that's weird. Like now, your birthday is an excuse to make content for social media.
Yeah.
Which I never felt like that for most of my life.
Yeah, phone's away, right?
Yeah.
Do you ever have a day where you don't have a phone?
No, I gotta work. I got shit going on.
Yeah, I always do my best to like no Sundays. At least off the phone early.
Me not being on my phone, still gonna have to do some check-ins on the phone. There's always just explosive shit happening.
No, especially for you.
Yeah. You know, the worst thing about that party too, though, was just like, it's my party, but it's like, and like we were in charge of the guest list. That did not change the fact that I had to take probably like 400 photos throughout the course of the night. And that really made it feel less like a party and more like I just subjected myself to a very long meet and greet. It's like, I don't know, it took a little bit of the fun out of the whole party thing when like every second, and even a lot of it's people I know, it's people I f with.
Yeah.
But it's still like, no, we're going to make you stand here and take photos with me for 3 minutes and then do that again and again.
Eric got a tattoo.
Yeah, they were doing tattoos. Yeah.
He got a tattoo.
Yeah. There you go.
That's funny. Well, again, thank you for having me.
Everybody tune into Indicted TV and what's your Instagram and everything? The LA Tooth Fairy.
We could just work on. We could just do.
They'll figure it out.
They'll figure it out. Indicted TV, you guys.
Man, she got a link tree, I'm sure. Shout out to everybody who watched this. Shout out to Eyekon for allowing his woman to do this.
The gatekeeper.
After years of gatekeeping. And yeah, shout out to Donnie on the boards. No Jumper, Negra. Like, comment, subscribe. Coolest podcast. We out.
Bye, guys.